everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Easy Allies Community Showcase, starring Ian Hinkle.
Hi. Starring?
Yep. I'm just the host here.
Oh,
You're the
okay.
celebrity. You're my special guest.
Oh, okay.
This is a little tease before we get in the studio and hit our 58K goal of a special guest show. This is about as special as my guests can get. At our current support level, patreon.com/easyallies.
Yeah.
Here's what this is. If you're just joining us now live and you're like, what's going on? Is this a talk show? What now? Or if you're a patron of Easy Allies, at the $10 level, patreon.com/easyallies, that gives you access to our community showcase. The post goes up at the end of the month, and then a week later, usually typically the first Thursday of the month, we sit down, we go through a bunch of fun submissions from our community. Most of them are comments left from our community, conversation starters. We let people know who's going to be on the panel, so a lot of these are directed specifically at Ian, very pointedly, aggressively.
I bet.
But we also have some wonderful screenshots. I love the screenshots. We have some gameplay clips, which are always great. Some fun memories. A really good one from Destiny 2 coming up.
Oh, good.
And some fun videos, some fun music from our community. And so we're going to get through all that. We're going to talk about it. It's a very casual stream. It's going to be the two of us reading pieces of paper for a good hour and a half. And then we're going to watch lots of fun.
More.
If not more. Hey, we'll see how long it goes.
I'm a slow reader.
And then I just did a cup of Jones, so I'm going to have Ian's probably going to read a lot of these. But that's how you can get involved if you enjoy this and you want to be involved. Another way to get involved is this post that we put up on patreon.com/easyallies. If you go there right now, it won't be recent, it'll be a little ways back because it went up about a week ago, but it's called Community Showcase Submissions for September 2018. That is now public. So that was only $10 and above when people are allowed to submit stuff. That is now public. So if there's any of these images or links, some people left a comment, but then also left a thing. They're like, here's my Imgur page, here's my here's my other page with just more art or more videos if you want to go check that out, or if you see a video or clip or something that you want to see again. Yeah, lots of technical stuff, lots of hoops to jump through in setting up every community showcase, which is why it's great that after all of that is done, we just read for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So hopefully when we get to the multimedia part, everything's going to be all lined up. Starting off with a thick comment from Alexander Zirianov, who never misses a showcase, I believe.
Yeah.
Since the most creative ally is here. Now, let's start right there. I take offense.
It could refer to you.
It does not.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you would say that every time.
Sophie's here. It's probably
It's true.
Sophie.
He's so creative. If only we're stunting her creativity. We don't give her enough chances to really be creative. Get a paintbrush in her mouth and see what happens.
She's a sterling author.
She is. I'd like to. She writes, what is it, a pseudonym? She writes under a different.
Yeah, it's a pen name.
A
nom de plume.
I'd like to talk about a game that I'm making for the past 2.5 years.
Whoa.
In particular, I'd like to talk about its AI. The portion of AI we'll be talking about has to do a simple task: place several objects on the map and connect them to other objects. It's easy to define placement and connection rules that produce the best result, so implementing this AI shouldn't be hard. But as you know, sometimes even simple things can become quite complicated. The first challenge comes from the lack of information. My game will support very big maps, and each cell of the map can contain multiple objects, up to hundreds of thousands of objects in total. Sometimes, when a new object is added, the whole system has to be recalculated. Recalculation works fast enough to follow players' actions, but running it for dozens of NPCs will put the game on hold for a couple of seconds. Because of that, I had to make an AI that works without accurate information about its surroundings. Another challenge comes from collaboration, so you have to make the AI kind of blind.
Yeah.
It's winging it every time.
It's like, this could work.
Another challenge comes from collaboration. Several NPCs can work in the same area, and players can also make some changes. Everyone can realize the same vision, but they can also use different smack.
I felt like
but
you were
they
going
can
to hit
also. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the room now. There we go. Ooh,
Yeah.
very nice.
Oh, ooh.
But they can also use different and incompatible strategies. Because of that, my AI can't simply follow a plan. It has to reevaluate everything after each step and adapt to circumstances. And the final challenge is to debug these 2,000 lines of code. It's easy enough to check that code, to check that the code compiles and works fast enough, but making sure that it produces expected results in every circumstance is much harder. For example, my AI was leaving some objects without connections. After some debugging, I found out that AI can choose to start working on another part of the map before finishing its current task. I fixed that, but the problem remained. Turned out, at certain experience levels, AI smartness was changing in the middle of the work, forcing it to choose a different strategy that requires a different set of objects. I fixed that, but once again, the problem remained. Turned out, 2 NPCs with different smartness tried to do the same work differently. Since it wasn't a bug, I had instructed AI to remove unused objects once the work is done. Of course, the same conflict can also happen between NPC and player, so I also had to implement a system that prevents AI from interrupting the player, but allows it to finish his work if the task was left incomplete. As you can see, building AI is hard, but as you know, overcoming challenges is very rewarding. I don't use any gaming engines or any third-party software, so this achievement is 100% mine. Maybe it's stupid, but there is a smile on my face each time I let my AI loose and watch how it conquers the game's world.
Good God.
This is the moment I would stop being a coder. Like, this is where I'd feel real proud of myself, even if I went to school and like put like 5 years into getting better at this.
Yeah.
The first time the error popped up that I didn't know how to solve, I would give up on the whole thing. I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You've made games before. You've gotten into RPG Maker. And
Yeah, RPG Maker. I learned it when I was a kid as like just kind of for funsies. It's not nearly like that. I am trying to make a game in Unity, but it's not going great.
I wonder the team and the challenges ahead of them at Media Molecule for Dreams. All the emails they're going to get where it's like, my game isn't working. And they're like, oh, okay, well, help me, help you.
Yeah,
What are we even talking about here? Before we move on, is there something in a game that happened recently that you were like, huh, I bet that's real hard to pull something like that off? I have one if you want to take some time to think about it.
You go first.
When we were playing Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which is the other side of the spectrum, which is a game that we can play and actively know a better game that exists that does the same exact thing. And I like the ranged characters, and they have a really interesting range system where you can't like move and aim at the same time. You have to stop and then like bring the reticle up, and there'll be a little arrow a little bar that'll show you like where you're aiming. And I noticed that in some games, like Horizon, for example, if I'm going to aim and going to shoot, but the analog stick is still pointed in a direction, the whole time I'm shooting, she'll still be aiming. So it's like, I'm not, that arrow's not going to go where it's going until the animation finishes and it leaves the bow.
Right.
So it's like the whole motion you're doing during that entire aiming process, it's still accounting for that. And so even if I'm like, I gotta hit that guy in the head, even if I start shooting like here, if I'm there by the time the animation finishes, it'll hit its mark. And it was really cool when I started to notice that. And I was like, wow, this is it feels really natural. And it like the more you get better at it, the more you can account for those little spaces and pull off some really cool shots. Not a Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
In Monster Hunter, it's very much like you gotta stop. He does the whole wind up with the arrow shot. And I imagine just that difference of finesse of feedback and gameplay is months of work.
Yeah. Well, and it's a very old game not very old, but like a 3DS game.
A game that has to meet different set of standards.
Yeah, that didn't have a right
acceptable
stick.
Standards, yeah.
The thing that gets me in games is animations, like really truly impressive animations, like Last of Us 2 or Inside, where I'm just like, wow, yeah, you just like put your hand on that car for a second. And I guess the way that Last of Us 2 is doing it is like some kind of like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like it has like just an insane list of possible things it could do, and it's just always like checking against the list or something. Anyway.
There's one clip I didn't put in the Spider-Man review, but I was tempted. I don't know if you do this when you cut a review, but I have like a little repository of like, that clip was cool, and I'll just like drop it at the end of the sequence. Like, I'm probably not going to use it, but I don't
usually I'll because I cut the VO up first, and I think like this is cool, it could fit for this, so I put it on the paragraph. Mm-hmm. I could just remember visually like which paragraph was which kind of, and then I just
and I almost never use them, but I just have like 6 or 7 clips in every review that I'm like, it's cool. Yeah. I have no idea where it would go. And one that I was like, oh, I didn't notice that while I was playing, but I was running towards a building and a car sped up right in front of Spider-Man, and he went whoop. He even said whoop when he went over it, and just put his hand down and did like a little. It wasn't even a full Dukes of Hazzard slide. It was just the corner of the car, and he was like, oh, look out. I'm just like,
that game's not even out yet.
Tiny thing. Yeah, I know. Comes out in a matter of hours.
Alexander, that is nuts, by the way.
I know, I love it. We have another update from Michelle Jackson, who's actively developing a game right now, and it's cool to see. She's like, here's what I worked on this month. I feel bad, because it's like, don't make videos for a showcase, work on your game. You know? I wonder how much time that takes.
Well,
compared to the hours.
Sometimes stuff like that is a good motivator.
To get feedback.
And just to be like, I have to get this done so I can put a video.
We spend a lot of time on our podcast talking about stuff we know nothing about, so it's really nice to get this kind of feedback. Cesar Villa, parental advisory, explicit content.
Oh, God.
Buckle up. Hello, Ian and Brandon.
Hi.
It looks like every few months I start my entry by apologizing. This is one of those instances. I make it a point to submit something for the show every month because it is a way for me to practice my English writing skills. My English as a second language classes ended 21 years ago, and while I understand you well in the videos, writing and speaking is something I don't get to practice that much. So even if I don't have a game to talk about, I try to share a gaming memory or a weird tangent each month to keep practicing. I'm sorry, this is one of those tangents. Languages are tricky and funny things, specifically for a workaround with curse words. When I was a kid, I would be told off if I said a curse word, but I could get away with all the fucks and shits I wanted without any reprimand whatsoever, just because they didn't register as bad words to my folks. This was true for every one of my friends, too. For college, I moved to a city that is under a 2-hour drive from the Mexico-US border, and because of that closeness, people were way more fluent in English than in my hometown. It was really funny to me that they didn't even dare to say shit over there. Whenever they wanted to say it, they said Cheetos. A workaround for the workaround. How does this link to video games? I'll get to it right now. My first modern video game I played was Resident Evil 4 around 2007. I'd skipped the N64 and GameCube era entirely, so I watched RE4. So watching RE4 really made an impact because of the gore and how good it looked. And something else. The first time Leon encounters one of those ganados, he asks if he has seen Ashley, and the response is, ¿Qué carajo estás haciendo aquí? Largate cabrón. Largate cabron. And while Leon's response is a sarcastic, sorry to bother you, and what the ganado said sounded like nonsense for most players, I knew Leon was in danger. That response was a menace, and I could understand it perfectly because it was said in my native language. Everything, he doesn't tell us what he said.
It's something like, I think cabron is like asshole or something.
Cabron's not a nice thing to be called, yeah.
I think
K is what? Estas is, yeah, the possessive, yeah.
Get out of here, you asshole, maybe?
Why are you here? Haciendo aquí, what are you doing here, I think, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's get out of here, fucker.
All right. Earmuffs, everybody. Everything the ganado said, like, matalo, cogedlo, ahí está. I know that. There he is.
Yeah.
There it is. Came with this weight. It wasn't just a grunt like the old games I was used to playing or something foreign I couldn't understand because of a language barrier. God bless Capcom for setting the game in Spain. Technically, it says Europe. I mean, you assume it's Spain.
Everyone is speaking a lot of Spanish.
But it literally just says
than,
Europe.
Yeah.
God bless Capcom for setting the game in Spain and let me enjoy it in a different level than the English-only speakers. Love and respect, Caesar. I remember Brent Phillips, who built our website, knows enough German that when he was playing one of the Call of Duties or one of the Medal of Honors, he was like in a trench and all the, like they didn't have subtitles and it wasn't even available in the game. And he was like, oh cool.
Yeah.
You'd like know what they were saying.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's fun when you get a little Easter egg.
It's nice
like,
to.
they're
It's
looking for me or.
For an American, I speak like a little bit of an extra language, German also. So there was one time that was cool on a plane. There were some French guys, and I was like, do you speak English? And they were like, no. And I was like, do you speak German? And they were like, no. And I was like, never mind then. But I had a second option.
There's a great scene. I finally saw Murder on the Orient Express last night, and there's a great scene with Kenneth Branagh.
The new one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a great scene with him interviewing Judi Dench, and then Judi Dench's like maid or servant. He starts talking to her in German, and she says to him in German back like, Judi Dench isn't going to understand what we're saying. And he's like, I know.
Yeah, that's the idea.
It's just you and me in this room understanding each other. But it's just cool that he's French. But he's like, of course I know German because I'm European and educated.
Yeah. I found that movie to be not amazing.
Yeah? I think it was, at the end of the day, you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I watched it on a plane.
I loved him in that role. I think he's really fun in that role. And it's a fun mystery. Great cast.
Yeah.
Everybody really pulls their weight in that movie. Dan Allen
Belgian,
is here with a poem, and since you're the most creative ally, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Dan Allen's poem. Let it loose.
He shall appear from a far eastern land across the sea, a young man who has yet to know his potential.
Poirot is Belgian. I'm sorry, he does say that. He is Belgian. That's true.
This potential, my flow.
Start over.
My flow is just.
I haven't read chat this whole time. I'm sorry.
Oh, my mic is too loud?
Oh, really?
I'm probably just too close.
Yeah, too close.
He shall appear from a far eastern land across the sea, a young man who has yet to know his potential. This potential is a power that could either destroy him or realize his will. His courage shall determine his fate. The path he must traverse, fraught with adversity, I await whilst praying. For this destiny predetermined since ancient times, a pitch-black night unfolds with the morning star as its only light, and thus the saga begins.
Woo!
That's the end of that. Dan Allen.
Thoughts?
It sounds like the beginning of an epic. It's very cool. I'm wondering which game
inspired it.
Yeah. It's like Onimusha or something.
Maybe Dan wants that to be a game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a request for Dan.
I
Say,
just think...
somebody take this and run with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, clearly next month there's going to be... Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, Huber, make it happen.
That's all you got to do. He's just got to believe it, though. He can't do favors, I think, for people. It's got to believe. I can't just tell him to want SSX. I have to make him want SSX. Spencer, spools of thread. And I believe... Oh, yeah, here's another just narrative, baby.
Sweet.
Just get in. Kick back. She doesn't remember her dream in full, but that's not new. Centuries of memories only come to her in hazy flashes now, almost always while she's asleep. She remembers grass underfoot and sun peeking through the canopy, an undercurrent of wind and quiet dread accompanying them, an era gone long ago. There's a murmur of Greek on her tongue as she wakes, ancient and heavy, still familiar. The cold that washes through her when she realizes is matched by the stricken look on his face above her. It's not something either of them speak these days. You were saying my name, he tells her. She knows from the tight clench of his jaw that it wasn't the one he uses now. Her mouth opens to form around the word, but she stops. Dramatic pause. Is it too much to speak of a place whose memory still hurts like a phantom limb? Do either of them even claim those names anymore? She wants to. She's not sure she's earned the right to keep it. His sigh is heavy in her silence. He's always been good at predicting her thoughts. She sits upon the couch, knees pulled close to her chest, and he sits next to her. Knees pulled close to her chest, and he sits next to her with an arm around her. Her head falls to his shoulder, the sort of weakness only he ever gets to see. He speaks softly when he says her name, Artemis. There's always a different quality to his voice when he says it, lighter and buoyant, like he's slipping back into the boy on the cliff he used to be. A desperate part of her keens silently in response to a name she never hears in earnest anymore, the one she keeps closest to her heart, the one she hasn't earned the right to keep, that she keeps selfishly gripped in her hands anyway. No, her hunters would not recognize this bitter, pathetic creature. They wouldn't know what to do with this twisted wretch of a woman. Apollo, she whispers into the quiet of the apartment, an echo of a softer girl. She pretends not to feel the shiver that runs through his body. His fingers tap a silent beat against her shoulder. She wonders when he last tried to create music. They stay there for too long, both of them shrouded in the way memories can come to life when you think about them too long. She thinks she can almost hear the way the wind howled against the cliffs. He's the one to rise first, his face drawn and tired. She supposes she probably looks the same. When she stays seated for too long, he gives her a sharp look. The boy made of gold and music is gone again, transformed back into the man turned into all sharp edges. Come on, Eden, he says. Just give me a second, Noah, she snaps back. The part of her that is still Artemis mourns.
Damn.
Love that. When you get a story segment that's as detached from... We missed so much leading up to this. My favorite thing is to wonder what in the reference, we talk about him making music, but he's tapping a rhythm on her shoulder. Like, is that what they mean by music? That he used to do that? Or is he actually a musician? It's like, how literal are a lot of these word choices? And
how rooted in the actual myth.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love stuff like that.
It has there are similarities with something that I've been working on recently, Jones.
You're always teasing stuff that you're working on.
You will be in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We were talking about that the other night, that thing.
Yeah.
That you're working on.
Yeah.
Bearded Scotsman 86. Hey, Jones and Ian.
Hi.
This month I started by picking up The Crew 2. I had a lot of fun with the game, so decided to go for the second one. It is fun, but they removed all incentive to actually drive around. I'm curious about that. Yeah, I spent most time doing events, but Blood said that was an issue, and I was like, yeah, I guess I flew around a lot, but I didn't just like, what's in that forest? So I'm curious. It's interesting the first game did that better. You can pick every race, skill, event, etc. from a menu and jump into it. I have barely seen the world as I got so caught up in ticking off all the events. Me too. In the middle of the month, I was watching a podcast with Huber on, and he was talking about Warcraft. I stopped playing World of Warcraft in 2011, but I decided to download it and check out the free 20 levels to decide if I wanted to get back into it. Oh no. I reached level 20 in around 7 hours of play and signed up the next day. Oh dear. Within my first week, I had clocked around 50 hours of play. As I write this, I'm at over 130 hours played and just under 3 weeks of starting back at it. I got a druid up to level 65 and then started a priest to level 45 and counting. The improvements to the game are great. You can now loot every enemy killed if they are within range by looting just one, so no more running to loot each of them. That's cool. You can craft professions items even when the materials are within the bank, so no more going to the bank just to craft something. Also, zones now have a level range, and the enemies within the scale will scale to match you. So instead of getting halfway through the zone and leveling too high to continue, now the enemies keep up with your level so you can finish each zone without the challenge disappearing. One very surprising change is you are given all past expansions for free, so I can play up to the content of Legion without paying extra for them. I didn't know that. All it costs to me is my monthly subscription. From getting back into it, I definitely feel it should get into Hall of Crates. I only worry that you have missed the chance to bring it back up, as it could be brought up when a new expansion releases and Huber is active. You just got to catch Huber while he's playing it.
Yeah. It's not banned, right?
It's not banned. It's banned from me, personally banned. I'm not bringing it back. He is pushing others to get excited about it, but by next Hall of Greats, I suspect he will have moved on and the hype won't be there. When I stopped playing previously, I'd clocked in 1,207 hours on my main character, so I am a long way off of my past efforts, but enjoying myself as I go. Love and respect. Bearded Scotsman 86. WoW? Ever? You? Ever?
Yeah, I play. There's a squirrel directly outside the door, very cutely eating a nut.
Oh.
Yeah, I played. Like a trial one time.
He's
it was
loving
like
it because
way
Sophie's
back
not
in the
here.
day.
So that's why he's like, I'm in the backyard.
Yeah, he's like free. Mostly I just went around picking flowers. That's what I like to do in World of Warcraft. I don't know. It wasn't for me.
That's what Amanda liked to do. She was a druid, and she's like, yay, I'm a cat.
Yeah.
Yay, potions.
Yeah,
like, she was not a big PvP player. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like an undead or a blood elf or some crap, but I like to make potions.
Nice. Blue, who was our former mega sponsor for last month. Blue. Gotta be careful not to say Baloo, because I get criticized by Calbus. Blue. Hello, Brandon and Ian. Sharing a cherished video game memory. Oh boy. The stealth action game Dishonored is one of my favorite games to do an RP playthrough of. Start with Corvo as a justice-seeking vigilante, out to topple the corrupt ruler who'd killed the Empress, rescue her daughter, and avoid killing the right honorable city guardsman. Then, at a major story point, no spoilers, a hard pivot. The streets run red, no quarter given, just a bloody path to a betrayer's doorstep. After multiple playthroughs of the original game, I thought nothing more could surprise me, but possibly the biggest shock I got from that game was from one of its non-story DLCs of all places. Was playing the challenge Kill Cascade, where my only goal was to get a full 3-star rating for the mission. So any attempt where I tripped up, I simply quit the challenge and restarted. Importantly, this meant I've never seen the final target until, after 10 minutes or so of bumbling about, I was sailing through the world, blade first, through a skylight, locked onto the final target, feeling satisfaction and relief for having completed the challenge. Then the last target came into view, and it was the Empress, with her daughter, little Emily, looking on in horror. Fade to black. In the rush of completing the mission, that brief scene became more of a gut punch than it had any right to be. Looking back now, that quick, stomach-churning, oh no feeling is probably my fondest memory from the game. Love and respect, Blue.
Whoa.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes in games like that if you get so bloodthirsty in like an action game or a shooter, you're just shooting everybody and then you like accidentally kill one of your own guys.
You're like, I
think that's definitely happened in multiplayer games where there's like friendly fire. Well, I'll like kill. I know that happens every single time. I know for a fact that happened. I didn't kill the person, but I definitely shot at some of my own dudes first time I played Black Ops 4. Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Playing on champion difficulty of Vermintide 2, because I play Carillion and like I'm always like shooting arrows like crazy, and then like one of my guys will get in the way and I'll shoot him, and I'm like, oh, sorry. Whoops. Oh well.
Carl Williams. Hey, Brandon and Ian. Back with another Ghibli Fest review. This time, it's Grave of the Fireflies, the one movie from this year's selection of Studio Ghibli films to be shown in theaters that I wanted to see the most. I've had a Blu-ray copy of the movie for years, but I never gave it the time and day to watch it. An awful job by me that's totally inexcusable. At the very least, I can say I watched it in a theater. As for the movie itself, I knew it was going to be depressing as hell. I just didn't expect the depressing stuff to start literally 5 to 10 seconds into the beginning of the movie, with the spirit of Sita looking at his own withering body as it slowly dies at a train station. And the movie never lets up. From losing a mother without knowing the status of a father, fighting for country, to trying to care for both yourself and your little sister and ultimately failing, the movie does not stop with moments that leave you gasping and hoping that something good comes out of all of this. But in the end, you are left with the sad reality that not everyone in life can survive the hardships that come at them, whether they be both expected and unexpected. I wish I could say that I shed tears during the movie, but unfortunately, that did not happen. I certainly felt a mixture of sadness and depression while I watched the movie. There was another emotion that I felt as the movie kept progressing: frustration. The only person I can honestly say that I liked was Setsuko, Seita's little sister. I found the aunt who took care of the two children to be a dick, especially with her constant complaining on how Seita wasn't contributing to the war effort. I'm saying S-E-I-T-A, Seita, I'm guessing? I don't know.
Might be Saito.
Saito? And it might be Setsuko, I don't know. And telling Setsuko that her mom had died since Seita hadn't told his little sister yet was a dick move. Seita, on the other hand, had...
Setsuko.
Setsuko? Seita, on the other hand, had way too much pride. Kid really thought he and Setsuko could tough it out in a small cave. The aunt was a dick, but Seita really should have swallowed his pride, and went back to her once rations were running low. He didn't have to contribute to the war effort, but he could have at least helped out neighboring people with small tasks and such. For the son of a naval officer, he really made some poor decisions. Setsuko is the primary reason I felt sorry for the most, and watching her slowly deteriorate was sometimes unnerving. The song near the end, with flashes of her doing various stuff around the cave, was gut-wrenching. I'm really glad I finally saw this movie. It'll definitely stick with me. As a Ghibli film, it's no question a top 5 movie and a real masterpiece. I would say, however, out of the 3 Isao Takahata movies I've seen, it's slightly behind Tale of Princess Kaguya and Pom Poko as a close third. Apologies for spoilers. It's hard to manage those when we get into the showcase.
Yeah.
But love a good movie review, as I'm sure you do as well.
The movie, for sure, everyone is just making bad decisions and everyone is like frustrating, but I think that's kind of like the point of it is when you're in it, you can't see the big picture, you know? So like, but yeah, that's the thing that's really frustrating for me in movies too, when people don't behave in a realistic way. Like in a horror movie, horror movies are truly terrifying when a character does the thing that you're like, that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
And they still get screwed over.
I think obviously there's a lot of layers to get out, but I think that was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is that just, okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
I would probably do that.
He pretty much does all the stuff that you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Especially when you're like, okay, yeah, that's what I would do, and then they get screwed, and you're like, wow, I'd be screwed.
Yeah, I'd be dead. I would have died first. Okay.
Totally made that call. Oh, boy. Yeah. Brandon K. Gann. Originally, I was going to spend the bulk of my comment on Doom Eternal and why the reveal hit all the right notes for me. However, there was this certain little stream that took place a couple of weeks ago holding a variety of games and with it a rare personal opportunity. I'm not particularly a fan of normal streaming, as most of the time I may not be a fan of the game or games being played, or if it's a case of the game is one I enjoy, there's plenty of personal quirks that keep me from enjoying the stream. However, there is one kind of stream, aside from unique events like conference coverage and Hall of Great style things, that I find immense benefit. Full playthroughs. And not just any full playthroughs, but one with games I may have missed, and many that hold a great amount of love for that I might want to get interested in. Watching a full playthrough of these games saves me from financial investment while simultaneously exposing me to a classic so I can learn. I've been able to do so a few times with EZA, watching the open world Wide West unfold through Red Dead Revisited and seeing why crossing into Mexico has impact. I've always been curious as to why Half-Life was so groundbreaking, so getting to see Mr. Damiani make his way through Black Mesa and what feels like forever ago was educational. And even very early last year, I sat and watched a game from a series that I resolutely believed I would not ever want to see, Resident Evil 7. To this day, I still can't explain to myself why I needed to see the mystery of the Bakers from start to finish. And so, with Easy Livin' on the horizon, the schedule was released. With it came the next opportunity, a full playthrough of Metal Gear Solid. I've been on the fence about getting into the series for longer than I can remember. I would always go back and forth. I like stealth, but the convoluted story turns me away. I would like to try one, but I would feel obligated to go all in on the series if I do. On and on, this would go on many points until, well, that very stream. While I enjoyed some parts of the game, like encountering Psycho Mantis and the fight with Grey Fox, overall, what I saw didn't click with me. But what troubles me more is, once again, I'm left with the sense of, I don't understand. While I won't belabor what was said in last month's comment, I'm starting to get really bummed out that I'm not feeling the same passion for a variety of all-time games as many others do. I mean, yeah, I feel you. Personally, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Metroid Prime, and Resident Evil 4 are 3 more I'm still waiting to see. And wouldn't you know it, full playthroughs are now a 52K goal. Yeah, would you agree that that's like a thing in our, and certainly in our line of work, but as a gamer
yeah.
in general, that you're just like, you're just not going to like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I read a comment the other day about Stardew Valley, and I was still just like, like, I'm disappointed in myself, but it's like, because that's crazy for me, because that's not only one thing where I'm like, other people like it. It's not like I don't see what they like, but it's just not clicking for me. But that's something in a genre that it kind of should.
I think you and I are
that's fine.
have more like specific views on, or like focused interests.
Right.
Me probably more than anyone else in Easy Allies, like maybe Don, but. Yeah, I don't love everything.
No one's more specific than Don.
Yeah, Don is like, I like this game specifically. But yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of full playthroughs. You can see a game without having to play it. Like, watching through the Resident Evil 3 again, I was like, I love this game, and I am happy that I don't have to play it because Nemesis is really annoying. And like, you know, but yeah, it's okay not to like a game.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of
happens.
games.
I think it's the other side of the coin for when you find the game you do like that magical moment where you're like, yes, you know, like me with Spider-Man. There was so many things that aligned that I'm like, oh my god, this is just the game for me. I'm so excited that this exists, and I just think it happens. And
we're using the other mixer, so I'm not used to the streaming.
Oh, sorry,
because they're probably turned way up. They're
lower when they're in the shotguns, but
yeah. Well, the shotguns, they're whatever. But a friend of mine had a thing with that with the movie Goonies, where they had never seen it as a kid, and so they watched it as an adult, and they were like, "What? This is not good." And then I was like, "Okay, yeah." Like taking a different view of it, it's like, okay, if you didn't get on the ground floor, it probably wouldn't be that amazing for you, you know? Yeah. And like Metal Gear Solid, I could see that being the case, where it's like you don't have any tie to this, and you're just seeing it, and yeah, it's a weird game.
All the characters are like bobbing their heads when they're talking, and like it's nostalgia is definitely like a part of that. But I think that's just what's great. There's so many games on offer, and so you don't have to like every last thing. Yeah, it happens, but we're here for you, Gan. That's why we're doing those full playthroughs, so you know.
Yeah. So you
and
don't
between all of those,
to.
If you had the choice to live stream to full playthrough Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Metroid Prime, or Resident Evil 4, what would you do? I'd probably do Prime because I never played it.
I haven't played Ocarina of Time, but probably Resident Evil 4 or Metroid Prime. Yeah.
I would love to do like a super speed run. I'd love to like, you know, pick up my save on PS4 where I beat the game like 3 times and just do a playthrough with that arsenal.
Just
like,
typewriter through the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle Lee. Hi, Jones and Ian. Last month where we left off, I was taking a break from The Witcher 3 and looking for something to pick up. Lucky for me, Jones and Huber had a nice sit-down discussion of the Arkham trilogy, and my decision was made. I had bailed on Arkham Knight, frustrated about the story, how Batgirl was treated, and the over-reliance on the Batmobile. Listening to the discussion and letting it get spoiled took all of the pressure off, so I decided to give it another chance. I've now finished it, with only 4 Riddler trophies separating me and 100% completion. Way better than I did, Kyle. Good job. It's still my least favorite of the Arkham series, but it has a lot of good hidden in there. After all, I tooled around in Steep a bit, because it's just one of those perfect podcast listen to music games, but since I was in the mood for second chances, I decided it was time to finally go back to Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh.
Let me tell you, I could write a college dissertation about my feelings regarding Andromeda. Please do.
Yeah, send it to us.
I want to talk about your opinions of Andromeda over 5 months of the community showcase. It is quite possibly the most frustrating game I could imagine. Mass Effect is my favorite series, so Andromeda is tough for me to deal with. This is a nice little piggyback of the last comment, where it's just like, I should like this. Why don't I like this? How can I be comfortable with the fact that I don't like this? There's so many things that I enjoy about it, but then something swings in and sours the experience. Too much of that game is complete checklists without feeling like you've actually accomplished anything. However, I do have to praise the character work of the female writer. Commander Shepard in the original trilogy was cool, but rarely got out of the soldier with the job to do mold. In contrast, Ryder has some of the most human, relatable moments I've experienced in an RPG like this. The strength of her character, voice acting, and writing are pulling me through the game, and it's actually been much more enjoyable this time around. I will probably be going back into this for next month's showcase, yes, when I hopefully have it finished, but there is a big thing that is putting a countdown on how much time I have left to beat Andromeda. When this showcase happens, we will be 1 day away from the release of Spider-Man. My hype for this is sky high because it'll be the first game I jump in on for day one since getting my PS4 last year.
Whoa.
To put that in perspective, I haven't bought a game on day one since GTA 5 years ago. I cannot wait any longer. Love and respect, Kyle Goldilocks Lee. P.S. During the Marvel episode of Reaction Shots, I learned that I worked at the same theater as Ian, just separated by a few years.
Wait, what?
During the Marvel episode, you mentioned the theater
Oh,
that you
Chicago
worked at.
Landmark?
Yeah. There you go.
Probably.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Cool. I went in there.
If those walls could talk.
Yeah. Well, I went back in there. I wonder if you were there. I went in there maybe 6 or 7 months ago. Talked to Justin, right? Who runs the like cafe part. Well, probably you don't work there anymore.
Good old Justin.
Just thought of that. Whatever. They improved that theater a lot. It has like a cafe in it now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They built when I was in college. I was stayed in the Little Building, which is on the corner of Boylston and Tremont in downtown Boston. And the year after I graduated, they built a movie theater across the street. And I was like, well, great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone there every day if I was in school.
I was bummed because in college they changed the Biograph, which is the theater that they moved away.
Plot twist. I'm
Plot twist.
Justin.
Whoa, not really. The Biograph where Dillinger was shot outside of that theater. It used to be a movie theater.
Not the movie Dillinger.
Yeah. Right. But you could go to like $4 movies and it was amazing. And now it's a play theater.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Victory Gardens.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure it's great. Yeah, it's Thursday. Should I go shut the thing?
Probably. I'll do it. Here, read Eli and Peter's comment while I do that.
Eli N. Peters. Hey, Brandon Jones. Hey, Ian Hank. Hi. Fortunately, there will be no need to postpone my intended subject for the month based on the random whims of circumstance and or the muse, because I'm finally going to write about a specific event taking place on a set day. The September 21st release of the Spyro Reignited Oh, geez. It's like my topics are physically running away from me now. I should probably change my plan to write an examination of the character of Sora in January, or the Kingdom Hearts fandom might kill me. See you next. Greater than, less than, not equal to months from now. 8 months from now. Eli and Peters. Greater than, if not equal to, 8 months from now. Yeah. I panicked. My math symbology failed me there for a second. That's funny. You want to read this one, or am I reading this one?
Do you want to read it? You kind of seem like you want to.
Oh, okay. John White. Hi, Brandon and Ian. Hi. I just want to say that your stream of Yoku's Island Express during Easy Living put me over the edge, and I picked it up for Switch only a few days later.
That was great. I had such a great nap during that stream. During that one part.
The game is amazing.
If I'm not on camera, sleep in.
Yeah, you were in the Snorlax pit for that part, right? It had been on my radar for quite some time, but I kept putting it off since I didn't want to risk another backlog casualty.
You're real close to that mic, by the way.
Oh, God damn it. Well, that's how these mics are supposed to work. We're not supposed to have it.
Should we have the shotguns even if we do the
desk?
desk?
Down. It is fine. It had been on my radar, but putting it off because I didn't want to risk another backlog casualty. What an absolutely charming game. Everything from the level design to the characters, the dialogue, and especially the music combined to make one of the most memorable experiences of the year. I showed it to my wife when she got home from work on Friday, and before I knew it, she was pushing me to track down the final Wickerling to 100% it by Sunday. Just goes to show that in yet another amazing year for AAA releases, do not be afraid to find the time for the indie releases that catch your eye. Already praying for a sequel. P.S. Do not sleep on the soundtrack for year-end awards. It has an uphill battle against Octopath, but there are some seriously great tracks in that game. Much love and respect, John. Nice.
I think there should be more funny Metroidvanias.
Sure.
Because it's kind of like, I think that's the struggle with Metroidvanias, is really making the abilities that you get and the areas where it's like, you can't go there now you can, making those like make sense, making you really feel like the reward of like, oh, I can go to all these cool places now. We're like, oh, I have this really cool ability that's fun to do regardless, but also lets me access this new stuff.
Yeah.
And I would love kind of like the Conker's approach, where it's like, none of this makes sense. You know, like Secret of Monkey Island, where you're just like, I can do what now? Like, you fart a balloon, and then that goes off, which can also damage enemies, but then knocks you up higher. I don't know.
I would not play that game.
But I get... Just saying. I
fart balloon,
don't
I'm
make
out.
games. I am
I'm
a
out.
bad game developer, but just fart balloon. If that inspires you, take it.
No.
Stephen Beaumont. Hi, Brandon and Ian. I don't have much in the way of video games
Hi.
to talk about this month, other than I am enjoying Captain Toads as an aperitif to playing many hours of Monster Hunter with my mates. Have just taken down Nergigante? Nergigante?
Everyone says it differently.
Okay. Nergigante, which was fun and hope to play consistently for a few more weeks. Other than that, I am proud to say I went into a pop culture store called Critical Hit in Melbourne and couldn't be harder. Melbourne? Melbourne?
Everyone says it differently.
And couldn't be prouder when my son was crying because he wanted a big Totoro, but we settled with a small one. It is funny that there was a love and respect about trying to play video games as a parent, which I haven't had a problem with. In fact, these last 2.5 years have been a video game renaissance since I found Easy A. Video games are easy since you don't need to socialize to play them, but my biggest problem is one of Ian's favorite things, board games.
Oh.
I'm ashamed to say that I've yet to have played a game of Swords. I have an unopened game of Risk under my couch, and as for two of my favorite games, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Smash Up, have been unplayed for 2 years. Smash Up.
Yeah, it's like, I can picture the box, but I've never played it, so.
Going off-road, everybody! Woo! Woo! Smash Up.
I think he heard us.
There is no easy fix, but we'll get better with time. And I can't. He's got the headset
right.
on. So. There's no easy fix, but it'll get better with time, and I can't wait to reach and play board and card games with my son in the years to come. That also brings up one of my biggest turnaround excitements for the end of the year. Pokemon Let's Go, which was my toaster strudel. I am a Gen 1er and have completed the Pokedex of Gen 1 back in the day and every Pokemon up to Gen 7 vanilla more recently. So I like others was disappointed at the Go elements of Pokemon this year. However, someone commented about their excitement that they will be able to play with their kid for their first adventure. And now I am more excited than ever. I cannot wait for my son to catch his first Pidgey, and I'm guessing probably appropriately name it Bird. Anyway, enough random thoughts. Love and respect, Steven. P.S. Ian, I have a mini-series for you called Fucking Adelaide. The first episode is about a guy who loves synths.
Hey.
There's a quick review here. And the here meaning it's in the comments if you want to go check it out.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to put up the video.
Fucking Adelaide.
It's not ours to put up.
What is that about?
But he kindly didn't write it here, but this is a PG-13 episode of the Easy Alice Showcase.
We've said the F word too many times, it would be R.
Too many
now.
times. We're done. That's it.
It's an R. This is R-rated community showcase. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's more than once?
You
can only get it once in there?
You get one in a PG-13.
Barry Bumfroyd. Hello, allies. I cannot paint. I have no songs. I am no filmmaker. But I think I can just about string some words together. I've been a small part of this incredible community for some time now, and I have been ruminating on penning a letter for each community showcase, but I wasn't trying to frame it. Well, with the legendary item drop of Ian Hink on the couch for September, he's not on the couch, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's specifically what you were looking forward to. He's on the desk.
In my heart, I'm on a couch.
But I wasn't trying to frame it. Well, on the couch for September. There's no better time than now. So here we go.
Here we go.
This is directed at you. I hope you're ready. I hope you're paying attention. In the early balmy days of the summer of 2017, amidst some frantic penning of a PhD proposal, accommodation hunting, and writing on my dreaded master's thesis, I decided to procrastinate. I reached the outer limit of content for Kinda Funny. Not a podcast or show left that I hadn't blown through. The lovely Reddit user Translucent Princess pointed me towards two podcasts that were entirely new to me. They were called Frame Trap and the Easy Allies podcast. Of course, I'd come across Brandon Jones on the few Kinda Funny shows, of course, he had been a part of, but that was about as far as it went. Frame Trap was a revelation. These guys actually played games, and a lot of games. They liked, nay, loved JRPGs, and there was a whole backlog of podcasts. Driving 6 hours back and forth from home to my university multiple times a week, 6 hours.
Whoa, what?
6 hours, back and forth to his university.
Total or each way? That'd be impossible.
Multiple times a week.
Way.
Probably
Man.
total.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But this gave me some respite. But then crunch time hit. July and August rolled around and the thesis became pressing. So of course, anything about a thesis seems pressing. Just saying the word thesis is
3 there, 3 back.
So of course, I had to find anything else to pass the time, procrastination being the optimal state of my existence. Easy Allies had all this stuff.
We do have a lot of stuff.
Weird stuff.
Yeah.
Q&As and group streams and tabletop shows. What the heck is a Huber syndrome? What exactly is the plot for Easy Update? And did you tell people there was a plot at some point?
There are smatterings of plot. Ooh, I should work the chrysalis into that thing. That'd be really funny.
And just what on earth is Fiasco Nuts? So I watched Regina's Wedding. That's what that is. It was the next month of my life. This bizarre show with zany and wonderful characters, led by a consistently brilliant chemistry between people who know and understand another's sense of humor. Well, as much as we can, I suppose. Whether it was Billy Bean or Dr. Zen, Copper Fudge or Marnie Sharpay, Mr. North or the late great Logan Naruto Maki. None of these are my characters. Fiasco Nuts is always my favorite.
Was it Barry?
No.
Oh no, that was Humor.
I think most of these are Kyle's. Kyle or Huber likely have the monopoly on all the best characters. It's a highlight of my month.
Some good ones.
And in truth, Fiasco Nuts pulled me deeper into the world of Easy A gateway drug to the really good shit, the people. To Brandon and Ian, Kyle and Huber, Ben and Brad, and Blood and Don and Damiani, Amanda and Sophie. I love how it's the ands. So like you and I are lumped together, Kyle and Huber are lumped together, Ben and Brad. Usually Brad and Huber are lumped together.
Oh, Ben and Brad and Blood are one grouping.
Ben and Brad and Blood. Ooh, mention the three of those.
Semicolons a bit. We gotta unpack this.
Don and Damiani, yeah. Brandon and Ian. Okay.
Sure.
Kyle and Huber, for bets.
Yeah.
Ben, Brad, and Blood, the bees.
The bees.
Well, except for me, but
Except for you.
Don and Damiani. Okay.
Maybe because of Busted Trifecta now?
Amanda and Sophie, of course.
Yeah.
And of course, to the most wonderful chat, you have all gotten me through a hard year with much more to come. The memes, the bets, the hype, the love, and the respect. You all get me through my day, my weeks, the months, and at this point, the years. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I truly wish you nothing but the best of success. You deserve it, all the love and respect from Scotland, Barry. Thank you, Barry.
Thanks, Barry.
Feel good comment.
That was a great comment. Also, PhD, master's thesis,
yeah.
All this all of you are amazing.
Yeah.
This is we are very blessed with an accomplished
and the thing about Showcase is it just gets better as we go along.
Wonderful chat.
It just gets more mind-blowing. Ms. Racy. Dear Brandon and Ian, as someone who tends to be a more casual gamer and who is really into indie and tabletop games, I never really watched much gaming content on YouTube. But one day, a friend showed me a tabletop video on another channel, and that's how I discovered Fiasco. I loved the concept of this game so much that I just had to find more. You see, I was a theater major in undergrad.
Yeah,
boom. So I love anything that was an improv performance element that has an improv performance element to it. Shortly after Regina's Wedding was posted, I discovered Fiasco Nuts and Tabletop Escapades. For me, this type of content and your enthusiasm and passion for what you like and what you do are what made me want to keep watching more content, which eventually led me to supporting you on Twitch and Patreon. Content like And For That Reason and BoxPeak have made me want to increase those pledges. Additionally, the allies have actually made me want to play games again. In fact, since I started watching Easy A couple of years ago, I've gone from 7 games to 150 games in my Steam library.
Whoa!
As a female gamer, that's an interesting metric for how many games you have now, as opposed to when you first started listening to Easy Allies.
That jump that's a good upswing.
As a female gamer, I encountered a lot of horrible treatment and negativity while playing games when I was a teenager, and so I stopped playing. As I've gotten older, I felt intimidated by and trepidatious about playing games that aren't super casual. I love that. I mean, there's a lot of people reach out via the showcase and other means to let us know they appreciate the stuff that we do, and we've gotten them more interested in things than they were not. But having felt like you didn't belong in a community and then finding that you do belong in another specific community, that feels good. Play those games. Once I turned 30, I made the conscious decision not to care so much about what other people think or say. Good for you. The general jolly and supportive vibes of this community has brought me back to games and have helped me discover an offline community that I can play games and generally nerd out with. You guys have helped bring so much joy to my life, and you all inspire me to keep creating and exploring every day. Thank you for everything you do. Love and respect, Ms. Racy. Just a big... That's awesome.
Happy to hear it.
That's a feel good.
Yeah, that's great.
In case you're counting, we're almost an hour into the showcase. 9 out of 21 pages.
Well,
heads up, kids.
It's a good thing that friend code was bumped back
Yep.
to 6.
Yep. My voice is strong, and we would have to wrap it up in 2 hours because
because of the direct.
The direct, which is not happening anymore.
I hope everything's okay.
I know. I think it was more of a courtesy thing.
Sure,
I don't think they were directly affected by it, but obviously, big Care Bear hearts going out to everybody affected by that earthquake, which I do not have details. I just woke up, saw that real quick.
I don't know anything about it other than it canceled the direct. I loved the Care Bears when I was a little kid.
Coming back.
Really?
They announced that today, yeah.
Really?
New Care Bear show.
Today?
Another animated show for people to get angry about the style of. I have no idea what it looks like, but...
Funshine. My first toy ever as like an infant was this Funshine Bear thing.
And the new Dave Chappelle, the first Netflix Chappelle special that he did. He's got a great bit on the Care Bears. Zachary Walton. Hey, Jones and Ian.
Hi.
I've got nothing of interest this month because my job has me buried deep in paperwork. Y'all need to stop getting hurt on the job so I have fewer claims to process. Anyway, y'all.
Quit it. Be careful.
Anyway, to celebrate the release of Dragon Quest XI, which I've put 5 hours into already.
Care Bears Fiasconauts. Oh my god.
Oh,
okay. Sorry.
boy.
Sorry, keep going.
Oh, boy.
Write it. Somebody write it.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite JRPG of all time, Dragon Quest V. I've never played Dragon Warrior on the NES when it came out because I wasn't super interested in JRPGs in favor of platformers and action games, as was I. It wasn't until the SNES and PlayStation that I started playing JRPGs, and by that time, Dragon Quest was no longer being released on home consoles in the US. When the DS came out, I made sure to pick up the Dragon Quest 4 through 6 remakes after loving Dragon Quest 8. Dragon Quest V quickly shot up to one of my favorite games of all time thanks to its combination of generational spanning narrative and monster collecting mechanics. For those unfamiliar, Dragon Quest V follows the hero from his beginnings as a child to his eventual growth into the adult hero to save the world. I don't think this is the first time Showcase has brought up Dragon Quest V. What makes Dragon Quest V so unique, however, is that the hero marries one of 3 women halfway through the game. Each woman has their own strong personality, and it really feels like you're choosing the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. You eventually have children, and they will join the party too as you strive to save the world from the demon threatening it. While it all sounds jolly, it's like the 8th time jolly's come up, Dragon Quest V is surprisingly depressing as the hero's life is nothing but hardship and strife. People close to him are constantly being murdered or cursed by the villains. It's one of the few cases where the silent protagonist helps as your sorrow is channeled through the hero instead of the game just telling you to feel sad. It makes the ending all the more triumphant when the hero finally overcomes everything and is able to bring peace to those he loves. Honestly, the reason Dragon Quest V resonates with me so much is thanks to its thoughtful naivete. The game exists as a constant foil to media that only wants to remind us how bad we have it by showing us an ideal world, while not realistic by any means, is an ideal that we should at the very least strive for. JRPGs get its knocks, deservedly so, for its plucky protagonists saving the world with friendship and love, but I've always wondered if such a thing could actually happen if we actually tried. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about Dragon Quest V. If you haven't played it, it's easy to check out on the DS, and it's pretty cheap. There's also an English translation patch for both the SNES original and the 3D PS2 remake. It's my most recommended JRPG. So I'm playing through 11 now. Any Dragon Quest experience at all?
I feel like I tried one a while ago, and I tried Builders, but in the demo at least, the menu noise was so annoying that I couldn't play it.
When I first started out, because I did the same thing with the Octopath Traveler, and I'm doing the same thing as 11, I just turned the voice acting off, because it takes way longer for them to say the thing than for me to read it, and so I'm just like, I want to get through this game. But yeah, I tend to play that game with the volume down a little bit, because I like the music, but every track is very like, Dragon Quest, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't love
I'm just in a town, I'm just in a bunch of trees killing some slimes right now, I don't need like this parade like the entire time. And yeah, every time people talk, I'm like, oh boy.
It's very,
turn that down just a little bit.
The music is very like Sousa to me, like marching band.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest VIII music though is really good. Like the orchestral.
Oh, loving 11 so far. It's so casual. It's so just, it's so just like, I'm just gonna run around and attack some stuff. Feels good. But I have heard many people bring up Dragon Quest V, specifically for the I think there's 4 different stages of their life where they jump, and kind of reminds me of like what Fable 3 I think tried to accomplish, and it's fun. It's fun to play an RPG that covers a huge amount of time. Christopher Fields. Hello there, Ian and Jones.
Hi.
I hope you've both been living easy these past few weeks. Let's celebrate a community showcase with another game review for a title that's been out for a while that I've only got around to this year. As always, I try to theme my submission around the guest ally, and there is no series that I associate with Ian more than...
Am I supposed to guess?
Yeah.
Souls?
For whatever reason, it's a slew of games I just couldn't get into. I played the first Dark Souls pretty extensively, and yet I never made it any farther than the beginning rooms of Sen's Fortress. Demon Souls was the only other game I put a significant amount of time into, but after a while, my interest faded. I played Dark Souls 3 for about 10 minutes, and that was enough for me to say, that's all I needed, and never look back. I guess I just assumed that I would never see any one of Miyazaki's darlings to the end, until I played...
Bloodborne?
From its earliest moments, Bloodborne didn't feel much different than any other Souls game I played. But I couldn't deny there was something about it that just felt right.
Yeah.
It's no secret that Bloodborne encourages more aggressive play than its contemporaries, and that's exactly the mindset I needed to enjoy a game like this. I think it also helped that I loved using much more of the weapons in this game, and being able to shift them into a different style on the fly brought twice the fun. I initially picked the cane because I thought it sounded the most gentlemanly of my options, but I later fell back on the saw cleaver in most situations, and was still willing to try out whatever I found. The combat was definitely a highlight and continuously enjoyable in my playthrough. What I liked most about Bloodborne was its world, more specifically the world design. I remember stumbling into Old Yarnum for the first time and asking if I was supposed to be going this way, and yet the game let me continue to go down that path. Or even being captured by a strange figure, and after being killed, I'm thrusted into a jail cell surrounded by threatening and terrifying enemies. Desperately, I try to find a lantern so that I can warp back to a safer area. When I came back to the area again in the future, I also find the answer why I could never return back to the lantern I came from. It was destroyed sometime after I left. Even things as simple as finishing the game and realizing, oh yeah, I never went down that path before. But after finishing Bloodborne my first time, that's the experience that I decided to leave with. Though I tried to go back, it's a game I didn't particularly enjoy playing after I finished. I decided to not go after all the optional areas and bosses. I don't want guides to dictate my experience with the game, and I think I came out with the most satisfying one playthrough I could have had from this game. And it's the only time I ever do so. Oh, and if it's the only time I ever do so, at least I finished a Souls game. Best wishes, allies, Chris the Fields. I've talked about this before, but I remember doing the retro and watching Bloodborne and being like, yeah, Bloodborne. And I'm like going through all the Bloodborne footage, and he's going through Canehurst, and he's up on like the precipice where all of the gargoyles are, and he just like takes a left, and I'm like, what? It just like goes in this whole area. I was like, yeah. Oh my god, I played this game 3 times, and I just never. There's so many little crazy places to go through.
I started with the cane too. Man, I love that game. Ugh.
I want to play that game right now. Just hearing
yeah,
that.
I can't think about it. I recently got
one of these days. It's gonna be time to go back.
My friend Chris to finally start the DLC. We were just watching him play. He's good at that game. He just viscerals constantly.
Ooh.
I never used the gun because I had the Blades of Mercy.
Right.
So yeah. Oh man, Bloodborne.
Should let you read that one. Bard91. Hi, Jones and Ian.
Hi.
For once, I actually felt like taking advantage of this opportunity and just share some random thoughts I'm having at this time. First, it was pretty neat that the same month I finished watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the Fiasconauts episode, happened to have it as its theme. As the whole series is pretty fresh in my mind, and the Fiasconauts episode served as a pretty good compliment to the show, that's good to know, filled with so much insanity and guys that I can only accurately describe as absolute units. Gaming-wise, I'm playing 2 games for the first time that, while not new, are very much relevant right now in terms of the hype for their successors, The Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption. The Witcher, there's much I could say, huge improvement over the first 2 Witcher games, which were already great, and it's on its way to becoming one of my all-time favorites. And the more I play, the more excited I get for Cyberpunk. For Red Dead, sadly, I have to say I'm not really loving it as I hoped I would.
Red Dead, which one? Redemption?
Just Redemption, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
That's okay.
That's okay. I borrowed the game from my roommate, and that has similar views to me on Rockstar games, both of us loving Vice City and San Andreas, while we find GTA 4 to be kind of boring and not liking 5, which is one of the few games I can honestly say I hate. All that said, Red Dead is his favorite game ever, and he guarantees I would like it, so I was overall very excited to finally play it. While I don't think the game is bad, and there have been some moments I've truly enjoyed, in general I find the game to be not very fun to play, and the design of missions to be very uninspired. In general, this is making me doubt Red Dead 2, not because of its quality, but whether or not it's a game for me, as I think the main appeal is not having much of an effect on me is the Western setting and the chance to roam across the countryside, which I don't mind, but I'm not particularly fond of it either. Luckily for me, my roommate is getting Red Dead 2 for sure, so I'll just try it out with his copy and see if I like it better. Lastly, just wanted to say that I'm really excited about the current state of things with the allies in the studio, and even though I would like to support you more than ever, this month I had to lower my pledge to the lowest it's been since day 1 of the Patreon, since I have to be a bit more mindful of my expenses for a while, which is totally fine.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to hear more of that. Not the people lowering pledges, but the reason why. Yeah.
We got to stay above 50.
All I want in my inbox are lowered pledges. Since I have to be a bit more mindful of my expenses for a while, don't worry, I'm certainly not going into debt. It's just that traveling is expensive. Pura vida from Costa Rica, Bard91. Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need more patrons.
Oh,
as
yeah.
someone said. And also, I feel like people were giving a lot of condolences to someone in chat, but I missed what.
Ooh.
I missed the initial post. But condolences to. That's sad to hear that sad things are happening.
That's why we're here, for the sad things.
Yeah.
We're here to help. We're here to help people get through those sad things.
Right.
Jason A. Sackle. This month of August started strong with incredible release. I'm, of course, referring to Picross 2. Love me some puzzle games. The Transference demo also got released. While it was the same one that was at PSX last year, it was nice to not have to rush through it with the thought of, let me finish this as quick as possible so I don't hold up the line nagging in the back of my head. It also got a release date. Easily the game I am looking forward to the most next month. I'm also picking up the re-release of Shenmue 1 and 2 for PS4. While I did play Shenmue when it first came out, revisiting it now as I was in constant awe and able to appreciate more with how much this game was ahead of its time. The time spent driving the forklift is more enjoyable than it should be. I still love figuring out who I need to talk to in order to move the story forward and how there just isn't an icon over someone's head. I hadn't played Shenmue 2 before, mainly because of the console it was released on here in the US, so I was happy to finally play it and prepare for the eventual Shenmue 3 release. I love the storytelling in these games. I felt encouraged to take my time while playing through them. Sometimes there would be an instance where I would have to return at noon the next day. Sure, there is an option to wait and fast forward time, but I had fun using that time to explore towns, buying capsule toys, playing arcade games, gambling, and of course, playing a game of Lucky Hit. Shenmue is a special series, and I'm glad to see it make its return, and I hope that those who never had the chance to play them before take advantage of this great opportunity. I also played Donut County. Have you beat it? Have you played all of it?
Yeah,
I really want to play the rest of that.
It takes like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it ended up leaving me underwhelmed. I was really looking forward to it too. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun way to kill a few hours, but that's about it. Just super short. Maybe my expectations were just too high. I think the puzzle elements never really got to the level I was hoping for either. Some challenge would have been nice. In the end, nothing really stuck with me, though one of the levels did bug out, where something I had to swallow with the hole bounced to an area I couldn't reach because the hole was too big and I had to reset the level. That kind of sucked. Aside from that, the writing was superb, but I haven't thought about it since. Well, yeah, aside from writing this. No need to be all technical about it, though. Gamescom happened. Still no release date for Dreams. Boy, now I'm sad. This is the lowest point in the showcase for me personally.
So far, yeah.
And it was funny. I'm just going to stop right there. I guess somebody tweeted at me and they were like, hey, why don't you talk about Dreams more? It's like, because I'm not going to do that to myself emotionally, man.
Right. Also, we've talked about Dreams a lot.
And when there is like a path to launch, like,
yeah.
Well, I think that they're doing a lot of fun live streams and they're showing a lot of fun stuff, and people are like, hey, they just did a fun thing. Why is nobody really talking about it? Why is this not getting press? Because there's no release date. Because we're not. There's nothing like to ramp up to.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm waiting for. Still no release date for One Piece World Seeker. 2018 doesn't have that much left to go. Maybe Tokyo Game Show? Doubt it. Do you just get that sense of just the
that TGS is going to be a flop? Or?
No, just the sad world of Jason Sackle just not liking these games, you know?
Oh.
Just checking out these experiences, being like, short.
I mean, that's where I live.
Kin!
Huber, like, jokingly quotes me, though, because apparently my reaction to almost everything was, it's fine. It's fine.
There's one person coming up that's like, Ian, why so mean?
Am I mean?
Just a game. You call games trash a lot.
When I say trash, you know, I'm just joking around.
Some animals love trash, you know.
Yeah. Raccoons, for example. And speaking of Donut County, they love trash.
You might be a raccoon.
You might be a raccoon.
Hello, Ian and Brandon. It is now time for the best, hopefully, stretch of video games in an incredibly long time. I love Dragon Quest XI.
These two comments next to each other.
Yes. And someday I am certain I will love Spider-Man when I have time to play it. However, I want to talk about another significant game that goes overlooked. I want to talk about Elite Beat Agents, a DS game. This game is spectacular. The game is fun with outstanding music. It possesses a lot of personality that shows through each of the unique stories. The gameplay of Elite Beat Agents is significantly good, using the two screens of the DS to near perfection. I honestly hope that they make a new Elite Beat Agent someday. And that's it for the comment. Did you ever play this?
I've heard of it, but I haven't played it.
It's great. It kind of reminds me of like WarioWare, but it's a really fun idea. it's like a crazy anime version of Parappa, where you like encounter somebody that's just like, I think my husband's cheating on me. What do you want? Should we do? And these like guys show up and they're like, what do? You dance, dun, dun, dun. And then like while you're doing the number, because like normally when you play like music games, you're just not looking in the background because it's like I just need to focus on like the rhythm and stuff. But like in the background, you see these problems like getting solved and all this stuff happening.
Funny.
And the songs are just like none of it makes sense. It's completely random. The cat stuck in a tree. Dun, dun. It's really great.
That's like embargo. Never mind.
Ooh.
I think. I don't know.
Oh.
Never mind.
Teasy McTeaserson.
Not intentional.
Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia. Hello, boys.
Hi.
I'm glad Ian is on this week because a little over a year ago, he helped me with a short clip in which he congratulated my girlfriend and I on 3 years together.
I remember that.
I met my girlfriend in April of 2014 on Crunchyroll, of all places. She was a college student in the Philippines, and I was toiling through life here in the Silicon Valley. 4 years later, through the pain and suffering of being an ocean apart, we have been spending weeks together as we travel around her country. I have never been happier. If you're willing to share, what is a favorite memory you have with a significant other or loved one? Because I leave on Monday to go back to Cali, and there's a lot of things I will miss, but mostly it's the small things, even more than anything else. The feel of her hand, the smell of her hair, the smile when our eyes meet, her sleeping on my arm or shoulder on the bus or plane. Things like that.
This is lovely.
Yeah. Love you all, and thank you for helping me make it to this point where dreams can become a reality. I'll link you some pictures if you want to see. Also, the return of Lunar Valen Academy Stories post. What is it? Siobhan. So this is gonna take a left turn. So this is gonna get into like a narrative right after this.
Oh.
And this is our last comment. Actually, we're getting into drawings and art after this.
Last comment. There's like 12 pages left.
No, last just comment. The rest of these are gonna be accompanied by multimedias.
I'll have to take a research break.
But okay. Favorite memory were you with a significant other or loved one? Not the favorite, just a favorite.
A favorite. Well, I was talking about something recently. Yeah, it's kind of sad though.
I was on I just got out of a jacuzzi in Mexico at Jeff's place that he owned down there. I don't know if he still owns it, but it was an old private community in Mexico. And I distinctly remember, and I'm very happy that I do, I remember getting out of the jacuzzi and being there with Amanda and being like, this girl's pretty great. Yeah, oh, fuck, I'm in love with this person. Oh, my God. And it was, yeah. It was at that moment that I was like, there's no turning back. I know I'm going to marry this person. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but
soon.
Soon.
And for the rest of your life.
I should get on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, favorite moments for me, like, I tend to remember just, like, feelings more than anything. Like, more than specific things. I remember one time I was having, like, a panic attack, and a girl I was seeing at the time, who was normally not very demonstrative, did like a breathing thing with me, and I was like, well, that's very nice.
I saw somebody posted a GIF the other day that was just like a hexagon shape that was getting bigger and smaller, and the tweet just said, breathe with this. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It's nice to just have like a visual aid, like
a relaxing super hexagon.
Yeah. Geometry, relaxing.
Relaxing.
But here we go. This is the Lunar Valen Academy Stories, which I know I'm sorry I didn't give you the previous chapters. You're not caught up on. We're just going to jump right in.
I'll piece it
together.
For
Siobhan, which is the fun new spelling of the gal who's in, what is that? It's the thing where she goes to college, and she's angry at her mom. She just jumps out the car. Yeah, Ladybird, yeah.
Saoirse. You're thinking of Saoirse.
I looked up the spelling, and it said Siobhan. Is that
She's Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse is how she pronounces it.
That's how Irish people pronounce that. Siobhan is a different name, but that's how it's spelled, and it's pronounced Siobhan.
Isn't that how she pronounces her name? Is that how she spells her name?
Her name is Saoirse.
Oh, okay.
Siobhan is
but I looked it up, so this is Siobhan.
Siobhan is like
the actress from Lady Bird. Different. Don't listen.
Yeah. That's Saoirse Ronan. But Siobhan is a name that's in. That's how you spell Saoirse. It looks like Soirees.
Oh, Saoirse. Okay.
But Siobhan is the
I saw the SIO.
Foster mother in Orphan Black.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Yeah. I'm like...
Boy, oh boy.
I'm like...
I missed that show.
Half the last season I haven't seen yet. I haven't finished it.
It's just got a nice, satisfying... Done.
Yeah.
Good.
Siobhan is Siobhan.
An effervescent, independent, young sorceress once attempted to create magic with music and new age weapons called firearms. After trials and tribulations, years of torturing her own body to bring out this magic, and close encounters with death, Siobhan perfected her art and finally gained the respect of her peers. But why was she so hell-bent on proving her skill? Well, in a world where magic is dominated by men of age and tenure, Siobhan struggled in the system she was naturally drawn to. Her skills with the arcane were always middling because she had nothing to cling to in terms of an expertise. She had not the mana to operate in the realms of space and time, not the connection to the earth to be an elemental mage, and not the deep finesse of illusion and mental magic. So what was she to do besides forge a path all her own? Magically enhancing a self-made instrument and tuning it to these weapons so that the music she plays will change the properties of the attacks coming out. And it was due to her ingenuity that she was chosen to join the ranks of the Lunar Valen Academy recruits. Walking through the gates with the others, she felt different than the recruits that surrounded her. Rather than walking down paths that lead to basic adventuring classes, she would choose the only path that made sense, the arts, where your mind and creativity were held in higher regard than your magic or physical prowess. With miniature organ pipes for a backpack and a keyboard that flips around to the front and firearms that were summoned from her spectral locker, she was primed to fight her way into history. She called herself a gun bard, and her music would change the world.
Whoa! Cool. I like that.
I love it.
Okay.
That's really
Research
great.
break.
All right. Doing research. Doing music spells. Gun bard. Firing guns. Making music. Thanks, everybody. This is the Community Showcase. We are an hour and 20 minutes into it. We are now going to focus on some drawings and art. We're on page 13 of 21 pages. Then after drawings and art, we're going to look at some photographs. Yes, there's another one from Tim Beshan. Then we're going to look at a couple screenshots from fun games, and then we're going to listen to some fun tunes that people have written, and then we're going to look at 5 videos sent to us, and they're all super fun. And look, we're going to get smaller, everybody. We're going to shrink. Here we go. No, I'm in the corner now. I love drawings. 5 videos is average. We usually have about 5 videos. I let people be posting Spider-Man. That's what you can do, hopefully. Immediately after the showcase, just go do it. Eat the mushroom, Jones? What? All right. Some people are going back to work. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching this, whether it's live or whether you're watching the VOD of the showcase. Here, I'll get the first one ready. So when Ian comes in, it's ready to go. Look at this beauty right here. Yeah. Yeah, this will be waiting for Ian when Ian comes out. This is from Eric Jackson. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then I'm definitely over the word limit. First picture is Ian. Second is my best friend. So, starting off with our first image.
I'm tempted to stand over here and make you stall for time some more. That was funny.
Why would you do that?
Want some Oreos?
Yeah, I want Oreos.
Oh, yeah! Now this I can get into. I was into everything previous to this. This is a great image.
But I love how you're like... You're very Oracle to me. You're very Donatello in this. I imagine if we're like a crime-fighting team, like you're the one back, like doing research, like you guys never listen to me, and we're like, Ian, we're busy fighting. And you're just like, oh.
And this is the moment where they're like, they have some problem.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do we do? And I turn to them and I say, synths. And it's the solution to fixing this problem.
It's the answer to a puzzle. What could this mean? I'll tell you what it means. Synths.
Dramatically turn to the camera.
So again, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, I'm definitely over the word limit. The first picture is Ian, the second is my best friend, and the third is the sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I pinched what I'm not supposed to do.
Yeah, you kill brain cells.
No, but
So they say.
here's his friend. Yeah.
Whoa, very cool.
Beautiful.
Who is this by? Eric Jackson.
Eric Jackson.
Very cool. Tweet that synths one at me.
Tweet it at me.
If you don't mind.
But just kind of enjoy that because I love it.
It's very cool.
Is that snow? Is that sparkles? Is that
Probably
light magic?
both. Well, they're wearing a scarf.
Mmm.
So it could be snow. Or they could just be very fashionable.
Ears aren't covered though. You got to cover those ears.
Yeah, most of your heat escapes from your head.
This is true.
Especially when you got short hair.
Megan Leinart. Hello, Ian and Brandon.
Hi.
It's now the end of summer, and to celebrate the sunny season, I figured I'd just attach a few pictures of some summertime cupcakes I've made. It's a good thing you got the Oreos out, because this is going to get brutal. The first 2 photos are just vanilla cupcakes with strawberry jam filling, buttercream frosting, and little fondant animals on top.
Fondant!
What? They're way too excited about fondant.
It's just a funny word to me.
Oh, come on now. Oh, dear. Is that in? I put it in photographs for some reason. I'm sorry. This is all out of order, but whatever. We're here. We're talking about it. We can't just talk about cupcakes and then not show them.
Woo!
Woo!
Fondant, see?
Yeah.
It's a little cow.
Fondant doesn't taste good, though. Or I don't know. Maybe
I don't know anything
maybe
about
I've been having
fondant.
all the different types of fondant. Fondant's the kind of thing you see it on like baking shows a lot, where they got to make crazy cakes and stuff.
Right.
It's really moldable. It's really easy. It's like wax. It's really easy like to make cool stuffs out of it. But I've rarely tasted fondant. Of course, I love pastries, so I'm sure I'd probably enjoy it anyway. But
apparently, I'm a super
adorable.
taster.
You what now?
Apparently, I'm a super taster.
You're just gonna leave that on the table and not explain?
Well, because I've always had a really, really, really heightened sense of smell. I smell like everything.
I do not.
Yeah, and
my sense of smell is gone.
And I don't like cilantro. I don't like tomatoes. I don't like a whole bunch of stuff. I eat the blandest foods. And my friend told me apparently it's because I'm a super taster.
Super taster.
Yeah. Things are very intense.
That's also part of when we're in like our anime squad where you're into synths.
Yeah.
And you got your thin glasses. You taste stuff for us.
Taste, yeah.
You're the official taster of the group.
Most things I could smell before I need to taste it. Get a runny nose off it.
The third ones are sangria cupcakes.
Yeah.
And the last are white cupcakes with the strawberry cream cheese frosting. Sorry you couldn't eat any of them, but enjoy. P.S. I hope you liked Peasant, Ian. I applaud you for sticking it out. Richard Dawson's music can be hard to get into, but if you like it, I find it to be very beautiful.
I think that's probably my favorite of the ones you've sent so far that I've listened to.
Sangrias, and then bam!
Oh, those. The last couple
if these were all on a table, I would attack those right there.
Oh yeah?
That's the first thing that I would go for.
I'm intrigued by the fruit on the sangria one. Though I don't really drink anymore. I get drunk like instantly, and I don't care for it.
Ooh, good to know.
Yeah. I like whiskey though.
Oh, interesting.
I miss it sometimes. Hey, thanks, Jax. On deck. That green is the hardest one to read.
Yeah, it's true.
There are certain greens and blues I find that the colors are so bright that it looks like they're out of focus, even though you can see that distance.
It's also nice for people. Thank you for mentioning, identifying yourself in chat, because it's hard to like make a connection sometimes between like Twitter and Instagram and Patreon and Twitch, as far as who's who. Tyson Wynn. Hello. Current job searching while I practice pixel art and learn to code. Aside from the Behemoth and Monster Hunter world, I haven't played any games in the last 2 months. However, this will change when Dragon Quest XI and Spider-Man come out. This submission is inspired by the always great Easy Updates. Spoiler, Yarny having to consume umbilical cords to become a great one is fitting and disturbing. End spoiler. I think this is safe for everybody. I don't think this is a spoiler. Yes. Yes.
I love this. I love this.
Yes. I love that I've played both. I love that I'm here. I am here for this.
You understand this.
I got that ending.
This is fantastic.
It's really, really good.
The moon is a ball of yarn?
I don't want to
come on.
I don't want to pick any favorites ever on the showcase. But pixel art.
Love some pixel art.
I love it so much. I just the aesthetic. I don't know if it's a leftover from just my early years in gaming or if it's just something aesthetically that I really, really enjoy.
We're going to be having some pixel art on a little something.
Stop it teasing!
You gotta tease, we need the money!
I want to keep working on larger pieces and eventually get to animating them. If any allies are looking for pixel artists to collaborate on game jams, I'd like to team up together. I'm Tyson D. Wynn on Twitter. That is TysonDNGUYEN on Twitter. Tyson D. Wynn. Love it. And we got this is not the only pixel art. We'll have more coming up.
I need to write down all the artists' names.
Sarah Imshog, aka Zephyr Moon. Greeting, Jones and Ian.
Hi.
Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm currently preparing for Inktober, and it's coming along at a fine pace. Here's some work in progresses that I've prepared for inking in the coming month. I hope the studio hunt is going well for you guys, and I hope that your days continue to be jolly. Jolly again. Love and respect, Zephyr Moon. P.S. Yes, Huber's influenced my vocabulary. No regrets. But I love these. It's an interesting concept, but I didn't know that was like part of Inktober, that you could do like works in progress. You could prep and get stuff ready and then just specifically ink them.
But just start.
Some lovely pieces.
Ooh, very cool.
Walking around. Kind of hard to see with the photograph, but yeah, looking up. Ho ho. Yeah. Is that a Pokemon or is that?
It's a panda at least.
Yeah, I wonder what that's from.
It looks familiar.
Is that Link, I guess?
Link shield surfing, yeah, looks like.
Got the hair back. Oh, yeah, Link's got his hair back. That's right.
Yeah.
That's Got the sun in the back there. Maybe it's Gerudo style. Maybe he's going down the sand.
Yeah, that's what that looks like to me.
And
Hollow Knight.
Little Hollow Knight. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Love works in progress. And again, it just kind of shows you can submit anything for the showcase, anything, even if you're not finished it. I love seeing a work in progress, meaning show us how stuff is going, and then we get to see more of that later on. And here's some more pixel art for you to enjoy. Noah. Hi, Brandon, Ian. Noah Weinstein. Hi. Hey, Brandon. I haven't had a lot of time on my hands this month because I've already been busy prepping to move into university. By the time you're reading this, I'll already be there. Congratulations. So it's kind of been a month of making mediocre art with disappointingly low frequency. Because, only Noah can look at this and call it mediocre. So, it's really kind of...
Noah, good lord.
Barf.
Yeah. Step it up, Noah. No, that's fantastic.
Love it. Love the skylines. Love the hair motion. Really fantastic work.
You have class in 5 minutes?
This will not be over in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, how long does it take you to get to class? Go.
Go. You should be in class already.
I loved waking up and my roommate was still asleep, and I'm just like, I'm going to be late, and I'm leaving now. And he's like, I'll be in there. 10 minutes, 15 minutes into acting class, just kind of strolls in, hair all messed up. It continues releasing an EP last month has got me a little burnt out on music, which always blows, but I've been doing more commissioned work lately, which feels good. It's been a pretty stressful time, and I've only managed to put it like 14 hours into Octopath, despite really loving the stories. Turns out turn-based JRPGs get really hard, and I'm pretty bad at them. I also managed to weasel my way into the Hashtagonists podcast, and we got to talk a lot about online communities and EZA, which was a really exciting experience for me. I think that episode should have gone live earlier this week. Can't confirm. Cool. It is live. But there's also some pixel art I did this month because I found that doing smaller, simpler pieces like this can be super therapeutic, even when I'm busy as all hell. Enjoy! Hope you're having a great week. Love, Noah. Thank you, Noah.
That EP is really good, by the way.
Nice.
I listened to it, I bought it on the Bandcamp.
Well, there's all sorts of stuff that's not necessarily included in this showcase. We're not showcasing it today, but you can go check it out.
Yeah, Noah, put the link to your Bandcamp, maybe.
Give it that link.
Link them up.
Here's something from Teague.
Whoa.
Hello, Brandon and Ian. Since the last time I commented on a showcase with just a little self-praise about finishing my first comic and didn't provide any art, I thought I'd share some now. Here's a link to a tweet with some illustrations of my character, Kuro. Thank you for both being awesome. Have a great day. Love this dude.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Kuro's really great. Some really good stuff coming up.
Oh, we got a bunch. So wait, this is a comic?
This is a comic. This is the first comic.
Oh, man.
Wrapped it up. Well done.
Kuro, dude.
Yeah.
I am into it. The colors are so good.
Yeah. Talked about Ghibli a little bit. Kind of that vibe there.
Yeah. Kuro.
Kuro. K-U-R-O.
Gotta get into it.
Ellie Medeiros, a.k.a. Eliga. Howdy, Brandon and Ian. Just wanted to show you guys a little treat I made for myself after pitching you guys that idea for that dog skateboarding game, and for that reason.
Yeah.
So let's get...
I loved that one.
Yeah.
God, and for that reason, man.
I know, it was for fun. That was a really good time. So there's a lot of text here, but you can see the specifics. And after doing that video pitch idea for fun, I started reading more about game design, and it turns out that it is super interesting and fun for me. So much that I've been considering changing careers in the future to be a game designer. Well, hopefully you watched the beginning of the stream where Alexander Zirianov talked about some challenges that might be standing between you and finishing a game. So here is a one-sheet game design document proposal made for the Bark Bark Extreme idea with a general idea of the game. Also, I just want to let the community know that the shirt designs I've been sending you guys are available on my website on www.elligeh, that's ELLYGEH.com/EZA, where part of the profit will go towards my pledge to you guys on Patreon. You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that. You can just keep your money.
So if peeps want to support both my art and EZA, that's where you go. Quantities are limited too until I get more stock. Yeah, but I could see the people are like, well, art's kind of go, well, it benefits EZA. Okay, and then Elliga gets more money.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Leverage it.
Yeah.
Leverage it.
Whatever we can do to make you richer.
Sell some
Quantities are limited too until I get more stock. Can't wait to see you guys with the new studio. Much love and respect. Ellie, a.k.a. Elliga. How we doing?
I think go for it.
Get the crumblies.
Last one. Oh, I thought there was a full one in there.
What I like about having you on the showcase, Ian, is no.
If you hear it.
I love when I was going to say something I like about you when you did one of the things I don't like about. Well, actually, no. It's always fun when you do that. Just not when there's crumbs in it. When it's a bottle that's got a cap on it, it's fine.
I closed it first.
You kind of.
It's closed.
I didn't see this move. I didn't see the cementing of the sticker.
I didn't seal it down all the way.
Come on now.
What was the thing you like about me, though?
See, I can't remember now.
Oh, okay.
Snacks.
Oh.
You break out the snacks.
We have similar snack. I have to, me and my sister, I like barely ever feel hunger. I'm just like, fine. Low blood sugar, too late, my body is shaking, I'm gonna die. So I tend to eat little bits, you know.
All right. Kit Snow! Hi, Ian and Brandon. Time got away from me, and I hadn't realized I'd left this so late. Last year and a half or so, EZA inspired me to dive into graphic design and thought I'd share a small album of things I am proud of. This is mostly full of EZA references, though there are a few song lyric-inspired ones. I feel like I've learned a lot and grown as an artist, though I know there's always room for improvement. Love and respect, Kit Snow. So there, if you want to go check this out, and in some cases, again, a reminder, all of these links, all of this information is all available on the post on patreon.com/EZAllies. Just click on posts on the top, then click on community showcase on the left, and then that'll bring up the most recent, or just scroll down until you see community showcase submissions for September. There's a lot more entries on here. I think there's like 30. I picked 9 of my faves, and 9 that ones are a little more EZAllies related. So here we go, one by one, real quick. Of course, maybe you're not alone.
Oh yeah. My song lyrics.
Time is not a friend.
That's true. That's an example of a song I had to make less sad at the end. I like had to add a lyric.
You made something less sad?
I had to add a lyric to make it less sad. I'm like, wow, this is bleak. Wow. Chocolate and juice? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Thursday mornings. I love
nice.
that. That's actually kind of the color palette that we had this year, so that really works out.
Yeah.
I like that kind of 70s van vibe.
Yeah.
That's about what it looks like. Yeah.
TTE. Oh, yeah.
Not. I love the purple. I think purple really works for that. And finally, yeah. Again with the perps.
Whoa.
Looking good.
Very cool.
I bet that image is crazy the more you resize it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Kit.
Thanks, Kit. Those are great.
Ian Alexander with a beautiful piece of art in our last drawing, but a very short comment. 30 days until JoJo Part 5 anime, which I didn't know. Part 5 of JoJo. It's coming out in 30 days. And
Ian
to celebrate...
Alexander made that playset, the JoJo playset.
Well, he's about to celebrate it with us. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot going on.
Okay.
I love that Mel Fudd is much more like Russian than I thought he would.
And like
with like the pointed beard, but I guess I could see that.
I won't do that. Hotel California's all tiny. Oh my god. This is everything.
Crazy, noisy, bizarre summer. So again, this is our latest episode of Fiasconauts, which you can go check out now. It goes up on the last Friday of every month, Saturday?
Last Friday of every month, yeah. And I always forget to make it public at 10 a.m.
Alexander Arts here on Twitch posted a better version later on. I don't know how you can improve.
Yeah, this is already
so good.
Like top bestness.
I love the attitude. And I love especially, I think my favorite thing about it is I love how close we are.
Yeah.
Because like we're definitely all opposed to each other, but I love how we're just like, we're posing for the album. Or, because it's just a lot, because the posing is a big deal. In JoJo, and the art in the show, and with the characters.
I love how Fleetwood is so pale. Yeah, Mel Fudd, man.
Just didn't bother to color Fleetwood.
So good.
It's like, Fleetwood is literally the color of that paper.
I won't do that.
Beautiful art. All right,
my god.
Time to wrap up the rest of our photographs, so thank you for that. Starting with Tokyo Slim. I have never really felt the need to post anything for Community Showcase before, but I went camping, and I know Brandon likes nature, and I think Ian likes fog?
I love fog, I love nature, and I love trees.
So here's 3 random pics from my camping trip on a foggy island.
Ooh.
It's very good, a little horror-y,
This sounds amazing.
Yeah, put a little flavor of Friday the 13th, or maybe even some Silent Hill. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. This looks like my hometown, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I want to go to there.
I was just going to say that exact phrase.
Yeah. Liz Lemon.
I very much want to check that out. I bet it is
Mist,
so cold in that water.
Oh God, the dream.
And I love the balance of light as well. I think that's one of my favorite things is how dark. And I can't tell because with exposures with cameras, you can't really tell time of day. But I love when you go camping how much stuff changes. Because it can be hard to tell, like, what time is it? Whereas when you're camping, the difference between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. is stark. It's like, and so it's really interesting to see the light of the left and side of that image getting to the really dark side.
If I had to
really
guess,
cool photograph.
If I had to guess, I'd say we're facing west or southwest.
And we're getting to sunset.
It's
I would say I think it's 4 p.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m.
right now.
Yeah.
That's my call.
That's my guess.
Doing nice detective work.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like the Gamork is going to come running out of that.
Where is this? I want to go there.
I know. And finally.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I love the
So
water
is this like
line.
Canada?
I love all the vertical lines with the horizontal lines, the mix. I love how the sky is just totally blown out white.
Yeah.
Again, kind of a zoom in, I'm assuming, on the lake that we saw in the background in that first image. But
That boat's too big for a lake.
that boat's too big for a lake.
Orcas Islands, Washington. Yeah, I was going to say, it looks Pacific Northwesty.
Oh, very cool. Oh, nice to have Tokyo Slim in chat. Let us know.
Ugh, gotta go up there.
Let's do it.
I need
Let's
to
go.
go camping. Dang.
Let's do it. Let's go. I am still, and I think it was like Damiani who brought it up, or somebody was like, "Oh yeah, like an Easy Eyes camping trip," and I was like, "I've thought about this." Like
Here's the
I've
problem.
thought of ways to do it.
We need to have internet.
Well,
if we're streaming it.
No, yeah. The idea would be we would just do it
Film
for a
it.
night,
Yeah,
shoot
yeah,
it,
yeah,
make
yeah,
that a special thing, maybe a behind the scenes, like
Yeah.
a Patreon exclusive series.
Watch us fight in the woods.
Of us just watch Kyle complaining because I don't know what it. Every time I go camping, I can hear Kyle complaining in my head. Every activity that I do, that it's like maybe not my favorite thing to do while I'm camping, but it's just a part of the whole experience.
I wonder.
I'm like, this is where Kyle would quit right here.
I think Kyle would be like weirdly into it, because he's done some travel.
Parts of it. He would definitely have ideas for stuff we could do while we're camping.
Yeah.
But like, hey Kyle, can you help me set up this tent? No, he would not help.
Everybody sets up their own tent.
Christoph Fatui, hello. Yes, I am back with its yellow. I'm sorry.
Everything's all right.
Yes, I'm back, and it's on a more jolly note this time. So, since the last community showcase, I had the pleasure of going to London for a couple of days. The plane ride is like an hour, 10 minutes, and costs about $100 back and forth, so it's cheap. I normally travel each year, but this year I've been going to more concerts, so I decided on a short trip. Weather was great the first day, but sadly it started raining. Even with the rain, I got myself a raincoat and still walked around about 15 kilometers each day. One of the biggest things I had to see was the London Film Museum. It has all the cars from all the James Bond movies, which I'm a big fan of.
Cool.
So
Let's see
let's
some Aston
start-
Martins, baby. Oh, yeah.
So here are some shots from them. While I was coming out of the museum, they of course had a merch store, and I saw an Aston Martin DB5 Lego set that I had to get.
Yeah.
I built it, and I can highly recommend it for fans of Lego. The car in the movie, which it starred in, Goldfinger. It is pretty new and came out 3 days before I got to London. I was the first to buy it in the museum because the clerk had to ask the IT person to make it available in the register so I could buy it. All in all, it was a great trip, and I even met a friend for the first time in real life after talking for a half a year over Discord. Love and respect for Tui. Love to see
cool.
that. We got a bunch of these. There's the
The missiles on top. Yeah.
The croc, the fake
snowmobile.
croc that he goes in. Yeah, that's a lovely snowmobile. I think we're due for a snow sequence in a Bond film. Love the ID,
Oh,
Daniel
yeah.
Craig's ID, the watches. And then here's that Lego set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Christoph. Tim Beshin, who's traveling the world and sending us pictures from all over the place. Point. This month's photo isn't from any wild part of the world. It's actually in my hometown, Cologne, for the good old Gamescom. That is wild to us.
Yeah.
That is
Cologne's
wild,
great.
probably for a lot of people on this in chat right now that have not been to Germany. I am standing beside the Champion League Cup for soccer or football. Maybe not anything special for my U.S. allies, but I think a lot of you guys can appreciate how amazing this is. All in all, a great convention again this year, but I recently started a new job and couldn't get a vacation day, so I was a little hungover the next day, but the EA after show party was amazing, and I had an open bar. but I'm still alive. Thanks, Tim.
Nice T-shirt.
And I know almost always is repping us with his T-shirt. So thank you so much for not only showing us fun places that you're visiting around the world, but repping Easy Allies at the same time.
You've been to Gamescom, right?
I have not. Ever.
What?
Yeah, never did that back in the day.
Whoa.
I didn't travel a lot back at Game Trailers.
Yeah, you didn't.
There were a lot of things where they were like, hey, this cool event's coming up. And it's like, I'm doing a retro. I'm fine.
Ah.
I'm good.
Interesting.
And yeah, some of that I definitely regret. Specifically the parties. I was like, why didn't I go to all of the VGA parties? Stupid, stupid, stupid. We were throwing these parties and I didn't go to them. What am I doing? Dave Cleland, who, speaking of Lego, Dave Cleland built our Lego set that's in the back there. Hi, Brandon and Ian. So on the first week of August, my few friends, my brother, and myself hired a gorgeous lodge, or rented a gorgeous lodge in the Scottish Highlands, drove up with a stupid amount of games and hardware, and had our second annual Cabin Fever weekend. Not at all ripped off from Easy Living.
Did he write that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah,
Did
that's
you just
not.
say
No,
that?
no, no. Yes. Hey. Love a good panorama. There was a lot of Streets of Rage, Blaze Fielding for Life, a nice chunk of Beat Saber, some tense last-second keep-talking bomb defusing, and scores settle with Def Jam Fight for New York. Also, since we were in that neck of the woods, we watched the original Highlander. Holds up! But my personal highlight was a full, all-level playthrough of Mario 3, culminating in defeating Bowser with a Hammer Brothers suit, something I've wanted to do for almost 30 years. I did manage to document it quite as well as your 50-hour stream, but here's what I did get. The spectacular view from our lodge, some of the local wildlife, and us enjoying that view. We did get out and attempted to scale a mountain. Nice. But I had to turn back when the mist descended, but had just enough time to pose for an album cover. Okay, so here we go. So there's some local wildlife. Them playing games. I love the view in the background.
Yeah. Did he say where this is? Scotland? Where is it?
I believe so.
I'm like, Highlander, that's...
The Scottish Highlands.
Yeah.
I love this is them posing for an album cover. Nope. That's the place where they hiked to, and when the mist descended, that's their album cover.
There we go. That's the album cover. I definitely, my friend Reed and I have friends who live in Aberdeen, I think. We've been meaning to go visit forever.
And us at the end of 4 days with most of our sanity intact, and not long from the weekend, but then knee-deep in XCOM 2 recently, so I have to have my beauty boys along. So if you recognize some of the gentlemen you're just introduced to, there's a squad. Now got to start planning next year's Cabin Fever 3 and Knuckles. Love and respect, Dave Cleveland. So yeah, I don't have a link. I was not able to download the video, and I didn't put a web link up, but there's also, you can see the clip of him actually beating Bowser with that suit.
Oh,
so
nice.
You can check that out. But there were 7 photographs, so I hope you think that was enough to contribute. But if you want to, again, patreon.com/easyallies, look up that showcase post. So September.
It's in Aberdeen.
Nice. Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia. No, are you up at top there? Oh dear. Where are you, Cisco? Where'd you go? Did I put you in there for some reason? Oh no. Well, I'll read this first and then find it later. Hello, boys. I'm glad Ian is in on this week because a little over a year ago, he helped me with a short clip in which he congratulated... What? Whoa. Maybe that put the comments in there. Oh, yeah. I don't know how that wound up in here. Whoa. Sorry. We already read that one.
Ah.
That was the Siobhan post. Oh, I think he posted a art, but then I was like, oh, he left a huge comment. And it's another thing, too, worth saying. If you're leaving a video or a photograph or an art, don't leave a huge comment with it. Because it's like you're kind of doing the comment and the media thing. Let us know what you're posting, and then just to explain it. But here are a couple extra photos and screenshots from Prototype J. I love this. So can't really read that specifically from where Ian is sitting, but I will tell you what it says. I have a love-hate relationship with Capcom. For every amazing game they bring out an Operation Raccoon City, and over the years, they've done some shady corner-cutting and business practices that I've never been a fan of. However, Capcom has forever had me in their back pocket because of one franchise they've made that I am proud to say is my favorite Capcom franchise ever since I played it back in the early 2000s. For 10+ years, I've watched Capcom continue their other franchises throughout, some being terrible and some being fantastic, but Capcom never decided to do anything with my favorite franchise. It's like I was totally forgotten, and every E3 I hoped and prayed I would get what I wanted. But over the years, you start to lose hope year by year by not hearing anything. It starts to chip away at you. But then, it finally happened. On August 28th, 2018, Capcom announced Onimusha. HD. These 10 plus years, my close friends and gaming friends have had to put up with my hype during E3, sorrow after E3, and every time I mentioned Onimusha throughout the years. I was at work Tuesday the 28th. I just got back to the depot, and then my phone was bombarded with notifications with messages like, "You did it! It's happening! It's finally here!" These friends have never played Onimusha, but were so happy that I finally got what I asked for after all these years. No joke, I was reading Capcom's Twitter post, and I broke down at work with tears of joy, and my work colleagues thought I was having a mental breakdown. I came home that day and my roommate, who I grew up with playing Onimusha together as kids, just hugged each other in the living room. Finally! I love it.
This is marvelous.
There's one more. Capcom is giving Onimusha a second chance, and I would just ask everyone who hasn't, please give it a chance, because if this takes off, Capcom may just consider Onimusha one of their mainstay games again. Never give up hope, guys. Feels good. Obviously, it shouldn't just be us that's experiencing all of these things and that you're here watching all of us freak out. We need to freak out. We need you freaking out as well. We need your freak out stories. And just like as we love experiencing that through each other, I love experiencing that through our community. That makes me happy.
I like it when I freak out.
Sebastian Hall. These are great.
Whoa, what?
Hi, Jones and Ian. As it was a good reception about my Star Citizen post last month, I thought I'd give you another chill one. Also, it would give me a chance to answer some of the questions Jones had. I have supplied some images of my mining expedition I did this month. Anyone can play this game at any time. In order to, quote-unquote, get access, you have to wait for a free flight weekend, which they do every now and then, alternately buy a starter game package for around $60. This might seem crazy for a game that isn't officially out yet. That said, if you buy it now, you'll get access to The Verse, as well as their single-player game Squadron 42 once that is out. You can also buy additional ships to your account for real money, but everything will be available for in-game currency at a later date, so I don't really see the point of that. For every major patch that gets released every 2 to 3 months, the universe resets and everyone restarts with a small pot of money and with no gear. Anyway, back to my mining mission. I've always been a sucker for collecting resources in games, if it's RTS games or just in city builders, so I thought that this could be fun. Doodly-doo.
I know it's like small and we have lights in our face. I thought that was a photograph.
Yeah. At first. Some games. Kotaku posted some Minecraft city somebody made that was based on Osaka and Tokyo, and the headline was like, "This is not a photograph." Like, oh, wow. This is actually something somebody built in Minecraft. Suck for that. So I grabbed my prospector on Port Olisar and made my way towards the planet of Daymar. When I arrived, I realized that I had no idea what to do or where to begin, so I went for the classic hit all buttons and hope for the best. Eventually, I managed to find the scan button where I had to send out a sonar ping for mineable rocks. Once I had found one with the right mass ore, the fun part began. So here we go. We're heading over. We've arrived on the planet. Coming in. Coming in. Kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
And now we're blasting, baby.
Woo!
Now it's No Man's Sky. Whoop, sorry.
I have this game.
It becomes a bit of a mini game where you have to use your mining beam to heat up the rock. I had to increase the power so the white bar on the left in the HUD hit the yellow area and stay there long enough for the fracturing to hit 100. If you put in too little energy, nothing will happen. If you put in too much energy, the rock will explode, resulting in damaging or even destroying your ship, sending you and the rock flying in all directions. Also, depending on how much ore there is, the harder it is to hit right heat. After you have broken up the rock in small enough pieces, you have to change to your extract beam, where you hoover up the ore, and here I believe that is what that is. Once I had filled my ship, I could happily make my way back to Port Olisar, where I sold my findings for a nice profit. This was a lot of fun and really different from the usual press a button and wait resource gathering. I hope you and everyone else found this interesting despite it being so different from other posts this month. That is why it is interesting. Lots of love and the uttermost respect, Lotiaz. No, really, I mean, if you're like, well, the thing I want to post is very different from other people's, like, that's going to make a really good show. And there he's all packed up with his stuff. Cool looking ship, too. And
it's so funny how realistic, or like, you know, systems-y Star Citizen is. It's bonkers.
Hello, Brandon and Ian. I have a huge problem. I keep buying games, but then... Oh, sorry, John Koenig. This is a... Yeah. This is tough. I might have to maybe go in the back and grab this and post it, because this is a Google spreadsheet. I keep buying games, but then I keep leaving them unfinished. Then I buy more games and never finish those. And on, until at this point, my game backlog has become a giant metaphorical and physical pile. Because of this, I've decided to spend the next several months focusing on clearing out my backlog. And through the magic of Google Spreadsheets, you can follow along. So I'm going to stop reading there. Can you pick up there and I'll get it loaded up for everybody. And it's John Koenig. So that, okay.
Yeah. I have set some rules for myself to follow, such as that I am going to put the most focus on finishing already started games before I start new ones. I will allow myself to buy a very limited number of additional games if the hype is just too great to ignore. However, I'm going to require myself to clear 2 to 3 games from the backlog before I do. I'm also prepared to bail on a game if I'm not having a good time with it. This will just make more time for games I want to play. Here's a link to the spreadsheet. The list is sorted first by if I started playing it yet, then by my interest level in playing it, then by genre. The list also may not be 100% complete, as there could be some games I'm forgetting about, but this should give a good indication of the task ahead of me. Love and respect, John Koenig. Whoa, let's see here. Tokyo Slim says, I do spreadsheets at work all day. I don't look at them in my spare time.
Oh, here we go.
Illegible. Okay, here we go. The concept of the backlog is very interesting to me.
So yeah, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Super Mario Odyssey. Can you read that?
Yeah.
There you go. I love the interest level. It's so good.
Interest level, mild.
If you had all these games in front of you, what would you play, Ian?
Oh, God.
If you had to play one right now. Well,
I've played several of these.
not Builders.
Not Builders. Well, Super Metroid is always a classic. I never finished Tropical Freeze. I have no interest at all in Octopath.
Blossom Tales is new.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, even. Yeah, I have either played or don't need to play all of these.
There you go.
Resident Evil 4, of course.
Of course.
One of the I can't officially. Oh wait, it is one of the greats, isn't it?
Yes.
Haha,
RE4.
one of the greats.
RE4 and Remake, both slipped in at the same time.
Do you have a backlog? I have like games I want to play.
I don't push myself too much because
Right.
that time where it's like backlog time almost never ever happens.
That never happens.
And it's usually because I can't imagine ever going to a backlog for the sake of going to the backlog.
Right.
Like when I'm done with a game and I have time, I'm just gonna think about what games I want to play in that moment. I'm not gonna like go to a list and be like, well, I'm obligated to finish this.
Right.
I try to keep relevance. You know, that's why I'm playing Dragon Quest XI right now. I really want to finish that before GOTYs, or at least play enough of it that I can compare it to Octopath.
That's the thing. I feel no obligation to any game.
Yeah. I feel an obligation to Red Dead. I feel an obligation to the online mode of that, and to Dreams. Like I really want to make to really bring that into this community and
like
and experience that with everybody.
If anything, a game that I've purchased has an obligation to me to be good enough to be worthy of my time, you know? Not the other way around.
Music time.
Yeah, we're doing GOTYs in
time
January.
To listen to music
January
time.
this year.
Time to rock up to music. Music time. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, baby.
All right, stop. Okay, calm down.
Here
No.
we go.
We'll get back to that later.
Here we go.
A little tease. Again, more teases.
Grant us eyes. Prom. That's a hard one. That was I think that's the Chalice Dungeon. That might have been the Chaos Dog.
Matt Bolenbach. Ahoy, allies!
Ahoy.
This is my first submission to the Community Showcase. A little bit about me. I'm 33, married, father of 4, musician and video game enthusiast.
I'm also 33,
I've been singing... Nobody cares. I've been singing... Yeah, you're jumping on his moment. He's telling us about him.
Right. Sorry.
This is about Matt now, okay?
Sorry. Go.
I've been singing since I was a kid, been playing guitar for 20 years and taught myself drums and bass over the years. I'm excited to share some music with everyone. As both Ian and Jones are fans of Castlevania, I present the following. Moonlight Nocturne from Symphony of the Night, original composition Michiru Yamane. Arranging and recording is a huge passion of mine, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with all of you lovely folks. Love and respect, Matt Bolenbach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There is no way we're not gonna love this. Here we go. He's got the intro too, just for context.
Damn it. Nice.
Excellent.
I was wondering if there'd be a at the end there. That was awesome.
Loved it. SoundCloud's tricky because I can't download the track, so.
Sometimes you can. It's up to
There's
the
one
author.
from Kip. Oh, okay. So, okay. Hi, allies. Some time ago, Ian made a video showing his musical equipment, and it inspired me to buy some gadgets of my own.
Hey.
I then made the foolish mistake of telling Ian I'd send something into the community showcase. That's how you do it. That's not a mistake. It's intentional. That's why Ian's teasing these things, because he's like, well, now I gotta do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I tease things so that I'm held accountable to finish.
I'm more of a solo piano player, and this SoundCloud is my first foray into producing songs. The word songs is, of course, loosely used, since it has NAF all to do with video games. I love that, NAFF, since it has NAF all to do with video games. I'm happy for you to forego actually playing it in the video. However, it would be nice if at least Ian could hear the chaos he has brought forth on the world. Here is the arbitrary pick from my SoundCloud. P.S. I hope Sophie is all healed up. She is. The cast is off. The toe is healed. I'm sure she'll find some way to break it in the future, but for now, her speed has returned. Oh boy, I just wrote down the link, so I'm not sure. Oh boy. Neither one. There's another SoundCloud link, and neither one of them said the name of the song. So.
Well, we'd have to look
I guess
at
a
the
50-50 shot. One is called Not Bad for a Friday Evening, and the other is called All Saints Passage, and neither one said that that's the song.
Are either of you in chat?
So maybe we'll see Kiff in the name, maybe? Is it Kiff anywhere? Not Bad for a Friday Evening. Where's that going?
Oh, that's Samuel. Yeah, it says Samuel.
Okay, we'll get to that one in a second. So yeah, here's
I
Kip.
thought that was the one you were reading.
No, Samuel Cardwell's coming up. This is Kip.
Oh.
Here we go. This is Kip.
Yeah, okay.
The piano. Yes,
Also
yes. Yeah, that ostrich is killing it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Getting like the end of a John Hughes movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like a JRPG.
Yeah. It seems like, you're not so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe we can be friends. I mean, I'm not on the football team, but I don't know. You want to like go see a movie or something
John
next weekend?
Hughes. I thought you said John Woo.
No. That would be a different, yeah. I love that it's mellow because we have some hardcore death metal coming up if you're ready. Some screaming coming up.
Yeah.
We just murdered God. Let's walk into the sunset. Cue JRPG credits.
Exactly.
Thank you, Rebirth Crusader in chat. I love it. Max Cannon just jumped into chat. Max, we have not gotten to your post yet. Coming up. Nice.
Very good. I love
And
it.
since we are already on the SoundCloud page, Samuel Cardwell, hi Ian and Brandon. I had intended to write something longer this month, but I've been busy flying across the world. So in honor of Ian's creativity and synthesis and general brilliance, which has been... Synthiness, sorry. And general brilliance, which has been an enormous inspiration for me. Here's another core gadget track.
Yeah.
There's obviously some Castlevania influence, although I've barely played any of the series, and I actually set out to make something approaching synth punk. It's 4 minutes, but there's a pretty clean break around the sections at 3:10-ish, so feel free to pause there. Love and respect, Samuel. Let's take it back.
Yeah.
Jump. Go up staircase.
Oh.
Nope.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Some Halloween vibes right there. I'm digging it.
Into this.
This castle is haunted. Yes.
Oh, this run. How long did this take you in Core Gadget?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me about 30 minutes.
Fester's Quest vibes, sure.
Piling more Ghost Witch House on it.
Phantom of the Bombera. Well done, well done.
Turn the ghost knob to max.
Nice.
Keep it going, baby.
Is it,
Don't
you
stop.
want to go? Okay, we got time
Whatever.
limit. We want to be fair to everybody.
What's 50 seconds?
But this is quite the jam, I'll be honest.
Oh, is there a time limit?
3 minutes is the cap
Oh.
on videos and okay, it's gonna start
I'm
going
curious.
nuts.
I'm curious.
The highest levels are
Oh,
coming.
yeah.
Oh, we made it. We made it through. The castle crumbled behind us. Now we're on the back of the wagon,
In a 50s diner
sipping mead.
with David Lynch.
Roll credits.
Local clear. This is
glad we made it through.
Keep it under the limit, though.
We talked. Yeah.
We're not gonna do that for everybody.
Jack Price. Hi, Brandon and Ian. I hope you're both doing wonderful today. I wanted to do a little different to the typical written comment that I normally leave. Recently, I got the creative itch to do something that I've never really done before in this instance. I thought it'd be fun to make a vocal cover of two of my favorite game tracks in recent years. Just a forewarning, however, before listening, I have no experience in music production whatsoever. For context and just how little experience I have, I edited the entirety of both video tracks in Sony Vegas, just because I have more experience with video editing. As a result, the mixing of the tracks isn't too great, but I did the best I could with what I had, so hopefully that comes through at least. I've never really done any vocal performances before either, but I thought that with this lovely community, I could try to branch out to see how it turned out. In the end, I think it turned out pretty okay, and I hope you think so too. P.S. As a warning in advance, as both tracks are very different stylistically, I went with drastically different vocal styles on both. Hopefully, the second one isn't too grating on your ears. Love and respect, Jack Price. Oh, it's grating, Jack. In the best way.
I love this willingness to try new things.
Hang on to your face or it's going to be melted off. Let's do it. Up, everybody.
Tone shift.
Big one. Get ready.
This is the same person?
What?
I'm on the phone too.
Level 95. I just like that he's trying this out.
Yeah.
I just thought I would just trash it out, you know, a little bit, just to change it.
You got a future
Yeah, dude.
in that. The fact that that's the same person, what?
So good. Okay, so enough. So out of music and just kind of traditional videos, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more posts. All videos. Kicking it off with the returning series of Michelle Jackson updating this on the game that she's making.
Oh, yeah.
That I want this game to come out and work well, but at the same time, I never want this game to come out so we can keep getting these updates for evers and evers because it's so much fun. And it's cool to actually see part of the game. Here we go.
I know this goes without saying, but everything...
Start it over.
Hi folks, I know this goes without saying, but everything you see in here today is just the roughest of drafts. Please excuse the mess. I'm going to spend most of my time on the menu because that's the most efficient way to talk about everything. I picked 2 characters to show today, one from the battle party, one from the navigation party. The battler is Patron. She's just a melee fighter, but her moves are kind of souped up, so they do cost SP. She can also perform buffs on the party and debuffs on enemies. Delia is with the navigation party. All the Navi characters are a bit trickier to make because they affect everyone on the battlefield. She mainly does stuff like scanning enemies, buffs and debuffs, but she can also transfer moves and abilities of different party members and a couple other things. Not much to see here. Like in Etrian Odyssey, there's different rows on the battlefield. They all have their own advantages and disadvantages. Here we have the status menu. Up top, there's a little blurb about the character's background. Down below, there's information about stats and EXP and battle history. This is essentially a blank save, so none of the history stuff means anything. Okay, so expertise is part of the twofold system for unlocking moves in this game, where you both have to have the physical, like, ability to do something, but also the technical know-how to do it right, which is where expertise comes in. The starting value is determined narratively, and you can't gain it in battles. You have to get it through the story or side quests or training. Intimidation, charm, all that, just social appeals. Different characters will do better in different social situations, so it's important to know when to apply each character. And then the priorities are all who will they defend in battle, basically, and in what order. Okay, this is just the profile page where you can read up into some more details about the character's background and basically their current life.
I love the photos.
Yeah. This is a complex game.
On this page, the player can read about the playstyle of a character. Patron was the first character I made because she's real lazy. She doesn't influence anybody else. She just gets stronger if she's able to chain attacks or if her HP gets too low. This is the page for Delia's playstyle. She's pretty simple. She's mainly the communicator. The skill swapping thing is a little bit tough to program, otherwise she's fine. She's kind of OP narratively and in practice, and I've been working on making her a little bit more balanced. To close, I'm just going to show some environments that I've been working on. I don't have any experience drawing things that aren't people, so they don't look great, but hopefully you can get what I'm going for. That's all from me. Bye, guys!
Cool.
Very, very, very cool. Just cool in the simplicity of each of the updates that we get. And I think that's the first time we've actually seen the game somewhat in motion. So, man, I'm getting pumped. I'm excited.
Patron 8 Steven CT's post.
No! Okay. All right, we will get to that at the end, remember. Or maybe we should do it now.
Let's just do it now.
Let's just do it. We're doing it now!
We'll do it live! We'll do it! Live! Hi everyone.
My Post sounds like a horror film.
Yeah. It is it's a reality for us. A horror reality. Horror reality.
Okay, yeah, that's easy to do.
How are you guys feeling today? Stalling for time. Here we go. Here we are. It's too small for me to make out. Okay.
So.
Ah. Oh.
Ian Jones, Patron, my commentary showcase post. Anyway, just want to say that I've been busy this month working on my art, writing, and preparing my first D&D game to DM, and promoting and managing the EZA LGBTQ plus allies Discord server. But what I found myself doing the most this month, surprisingly, is getting back into No Man's Sky. Here's a collection of photos I took while playing. I stuck with black and white photography because I love the contrast and tone it gave to the game. Here are some.
V cool.
And you can speak to playing Xenu.
Yeah, the new No Man's Sky is really cool. These are good. Oh, cool.
I love it.
That bird. Ooh, I like that one.
This one might be my favorite right there.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. It's framed really well. Wow.
My home base is on a planet with a ring like that too.
That's cool.
Yeah, the photo mode is very robust.
Cool.
Very cool.
Beautiful, thank you. I'm glad we can sneak that in.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job updating No Man's Sky.
See, we're talking about Backlog. No Man's Sky's up there. Just the new one. So jump in and check it out. What? You a fan? You like?
Just thumbs up and just thumbsing it up.
All right. Because we're almost about to wrap it up. VG Junkie, hi, Ian.
Hi.
It hurts my feelings a little when you get real negative about games I like, but it's okay. You're still cool. At least you like Monster Hunter World. Personal goatee so far. With you on this month, I thought I'd continue my monthly pander and this time share an old clip from the best From Software game so far, outside of the Armored Core series anyway. See if you can guess which one I mean. It's from my journey for the Platinum and is by no means perfect, but it was thrilling nonetheless due to a small margin for error and the many failures I endured. Really excited for Sekiro since I prefer faster styles of combat and I love a good parry system, hoping it scratches that Metal Gear Rising itch and tides me over until Neo 2. Final word, DMC is number 4 on the Desire Index. DMC 5, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta parry. You
We've already watched a little of this.
Yeah, Chaos Fire Dog.
Let's start it over. Here we go.
Right, what are we doing here? Cursed. Yeah, this looks like the Cursed Chalice Dungeon. This is very hard, this one. Which is funny because this boss, when you fight it the first time, is really easy.
Yeah.
And then in the Chalice Dungeon, Cursed, it's just like so hard. One of the harder things. Here he's gonna puke.
Oh, it didn't take a lot of damage for that.
And you have such low health.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness. Get out, get out, get out.
Wow, using the cannon, too. Nice.
Like, I know this is going to end well, and I'm still stressed. Just watching it.
This was one of the most frustrating. Yeah, this part was so hard.
Dip says took me 80 plus tries.
Yeah. I think I summoned in for this, maybe.
No, I can't imagine. I would. Whoa, nice. God, it was so cool. Oof. Ugh. Oh, man, just that side swipe. Not healing, going for damage. Get out of there, get out of there.
Nice.
When you get this low on the health bar, things just... It's so tense.
Yeah. Amygdala and Cursed was also crazy, too.
Oh my god.
Yeah! So good.
Woo!
Ugh.
Well done. Love that. Love a good gameplay capture. Love going just straight to the source and seeing what all of you are doing, how you're performing, what you're playing.
I think the negative about games, though. I think the tone of my voice sometimes sounds more aggressive than I think it does. Sometimes people think I'm angry when I'm not.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Ben thinks I'm angry all the time, and I never.
There's tone, because I cut the podcast, there's times where I listen to myself and I'm like, whoa, I didn't think I sounded like that.
Yeah.
Like just inflection and tone. Like I sound much more agitated than I actually am, or I sound like that made me much more frustrated than it actually did. Which is why, and it's a good thing to bring up now that we're in the showcase, it's like part of the whole Easy Allies process of us just spewing information and opinions about games a lot is that we are waiting for that feedback. We're waiting to communicate with you and be like, wait, I need you to clarify on these things. Spent a lot of this week doing that with Spider-Man, where people were watching my review and being like, wait, sounds like you didn't like this. Sounds like you had a problem with this part.
Yeah.
Sounds like this thing sucks. You know.
Yeah, general rule for me, the range of my feeling doesn't dip into anger almost ever.
Right.
Or like,
and if it does, the cameras aren't rolling.
Right.
That's just behind the scenes.
Yeah. Like, I mostly don't care about most things.
Until you care too much.
Until I care too much.
Have you seen Super 3D Cow's Poppin' Music updates?
Huh?
Him playing as the music rhythm game. Have you seen these?
Oh. No.
Oh, you're in for a treat, baby. Super 3D Cow, I'm back again with a Poppin' Music progress update. I'm glad you wanted me to do more of these. I hope Ian finds this cool since he is musically talented. Love these.
This is my Poppin' Music Week 40 update. But before we jump into it, let's look back.
So I love the stream setup. So he's got his things playing on the bottom. You see him on the right. And you can see this crazy game with this like specific. Look at him go, man.
Poppin' music.
With the love respect shirt. Easily the most extensive Poppin' music streams in the world.
Did you say expensive or expensive?
Both. I said extensive, but
Oh.
I'm sure it was not cheap picking all this up.
Oh, I'm digging this track already. 3 and 10.
The 3 notes. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I love these. I can never get enough of these videos, man. I love them.
Good lord!
To quick recap, Poppin' Music is a Japanese music game with over 1,000 songs, ranging in difficulty from 1 to 50. I am now only 7 levels away from beating Concertaire, the song I chose as the final goal.
Oh boy.
You're just playing an instrument at this point, you know? Like,
This is great. I'm in love.
Even though I lose a lot of the songs I play, I think it's a lot of fun to just hang out with people and listen to good music.
so do we.
Yeah.
We do it once a month at least.
Mermaid girl.
Just jazzing. It's like,
My nose is itchy and it's so distracting.
That's always the worst in games like this.
No.
Made my nose itchy. The line is moving? That was weird. Oh my goodness. This is so intense. You're doing good. You're doing great. Wow, man. I gotta watch that.
yeah, check those out. 53 Cow.
Thursdays, okay.
Oh, what's up? So you love that. Love those. We'll never get sick of those updates. Bring them, bring them, bring them. 2 more posts. Max Cannon jumping into chat, making sure we did not miss him, and we did not. Here we go, Max. Hey, fellas. I've been watching your content for a while now, but just hopped aboard the Patreon train recently, which is especially convenient considering my coolest thing worth sharing came out recently. I live in Boise, Idaho, my favorite place in the world, and I've been struggling to work and inspire a solid filmmaking community while also having a tough time paying the bills. I have a day job working as an anesthesia technician at a local hospital. My father-in-law was an anesthesiologist. That's
really?
awesome, yeah. The best thing is whenever I'm in Florida with them, people always are like, "Oh, you helped me birth my child," and he's
Yeah.
like, I thought I remembered you."
My dad's an ER doctor, so, and he used to be general practice.
And they'll
so
have
you get
their
all
like
that,
16-year-old kid. This is
Yeah, it's him.
recognize them. Like, I have a day job working as an anesthesia technician at a local hospital, a side job working for a family-friendly entertainment site doing gaming coverage, and another side job centered around my main passion of filmmaking. After assisting in creating the successful pitch for HGTV's Boise Boys, which is currently shooting its 2nd season, I was fortunate to get a bit of PA work on the pilot of a show I helped create, but it wasn't creatively satisfying. So I was extra fortunate to be selected to pitch my passion project to PlayStation executives, including Sean Layden, as part of the PlayStation Emerging Emerging Filmmakers Program. Band in Boise is a comedy series about a group of filmmakers competing in a film festival against their former bosses, which has been at the front of my mind for the last 5 years. I have an obsession with PlayStation, so this opportunity feels awesome, but the fact that I was able to make it alongside my childhood best friend really makes it feel unbelievable. Check out the pilot episode if you can, and the other 4 pilots too. But to keep it short, I've included a link to the show's trailer. Thanks for all the quality content and keeping me company during my late night writing sessions. You have my love and respect, Max Cannon.
Cool.
Here we go.
What do you want?
I want to make movies. Graham has a movie that needs making.
Nobody makes it big in this business by towing the line. Why shouldn't we use Rooney's gear?
Because we can't afford to rent a tripod, let alone a camera.
I'm not talking about renting Rooney's gear.
Incredible.
If we can just make Chainsaw Girl, then there's a chance the whole world can see it. Our movie. He can't sue me for thinking outside of his little box.
Actually,
Steven Spielberg snuck onto the Universal lot. He's Steven Spielberg. He wasn't that. Making a movie is something that hundreds of thousands of people want to do. And they never even come close to touching that magic.
What even is a camera, yo? Like, it's always watching.
Good. Take 5.
Yo, how many's 5?
In the end, they'll thank us. I love you.
Yes! Tell me we got that on film!
That was good.
Yeah. I like that bit.
That's great.
I like, especially if you're talking about the industry or putting something like the industry, it's good to be self-deprecating.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I liked about 30 Rock, those episodes that I saw. Is it's just like no one was perceived well on that show. No one was putting their best foot forward ever. Like they're all like, we're a bunch of hacks. We're just trying to do the best we can. We got to pump out this show every week. And finally, our final post for media. We have a couple of extra credit people to mention at the end, but Kevin Gillet, hello Brandian.
Yeah.
You say that?
That's our celebrity couple name.
For this month's submission, I thought I would celebrate the Smash Direct from August 8th that gloriously announced the arrival of Castlevania and King K. Rool into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This Direct was madness, and Brandon and Kyle's reactions were a joy to behold. To relive this moment and feed the Smash hype, I submit to you K. Rool Castle, a piece of music intended to smash together, aren't I clever, Dracula Castle from Symphony of the Night, and the various King K. Rool themes from across the Donkey Kong Country series. I basically tried to replicate the instrumentation of Dracula Castle, but replaced the melody mostly with the delightfully minor version of Gangplank Galleon from DKC 1. Later in the track, you can notice little bits from Crocodile Cacophony from DKC 2, Big Boss Blues from DKC 3, and the in the K. Rool Game Over Leitmotif from DK 64. As always, Leitmotif, right?
Man, leitmotif?
Leitmotif. As always, there are 2 loops, so you may stop after 150. Also, in no particular order, Easy Livin' was fantastic. Excited to have been able to follow it live this time, though last year I missed it because I was in Japan, so I'm not complaining. Nice production of the Pokemon TCG tournament. I'm excited to finally leave this horribly hot summer behind, fold some more cardboard in 2 weeks with the Nintendo Labo vehicle kit, and that we are getting closer to the glorious month of October. I share your affection for it, Jones, while grinding in mostly Ni no Kuni 2 and Octopath Traveler these days, with some Okami HD and WarioWare Gold on the side. Till next month, love and respect, Kevin Gillet. Which should be in the music section technically, but
Gillet.
Gillet.
Not Gillette.
Gillette, maybe? Gillette, maybe.
Well, it's not spelled like I love organs, Jones.
Yeah.
I love them.
I share it. Ibrahim Sozer, it was a koala. Alex AI, I shall comment. I'm not sure if that happened. Patreon ate it. XWF Outlaw, Little Pig. There you go. Congratulations on making me say it. Pokemon Clyde, Spider-Man. And finally, Ethan RC. Hey there, Ian and Brandon. Mike Hook 1 says bye. Ibrahim Sozer says it was a koala. Alex AI says I shall comment. XWF Outlaw says little pig, little pig.
That's not what he said.
Little pig, little pig. Pokey Clyde says Spider-Man. Ethan RC says hey there, Ian and Brandon.
Hi.
And we say hello to all of you. Love it.
Hard cut.
Hard cut. As always, 2.5 hours later, we surface out of breath, sweating and exhausted from the wonderful cavalcade of creativity that is the Easy Allies Community Showcase. Again, we are Easy Allies. If you would like to be a part of the Community Showcase for $10 and above, you can go to patreon.com/easyallies. You can sub, and then at the last week of the month, we will put up a post for the first Thursday of the month. Don't quote me on this, but I believe Daniel Bloodworth is due. I'm going to try to get blood for the August episode to sit down with me and go through all of this wonderful stuff. If you would like to just watch it, again, you can join us at the beginning of each month for the showcase. But if you want to be involved, you do that via Patreon. And if you saw any of this stuff, you saw some photos you'd like to download or some art that you'd like to see more of from their creators, some links were popped up here live in chat on Twitch, or you can also go, again, patreon.com/easyallies, look up the Community Showcase post for September 2018. And you can see links because that post has now been made public. And a special thank you and just love and respect to everybody that sent so many amazing things to us. There are always so many amazing highlights from the games that you're playing and the games you're creating, the achievements that you've made throughout this month, and the projects that you're continuing to work on. I love it. I feed on it. It's one of my favorite things that we do.
Oh, very good.
And thank you to Ian for coming by. Ian, hey,
My
everybody.
pleasure. Yeah, this was great. I love coming on this.
The most creative ally.
Well, everyone has their talent.
They said it, man.
Well, okay.
They said it. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a wonderful day. We're not going to be streaming a live reactions to a Nintendo Direct because that Direct is not happening.
Rescheduled.
But there are more live streams and more fun stuff coming from us here on Twitch, on YouTube, and, of course, easyallies.com if you want to see the schedule in your time zone.
Magic.
Take care, everybody. Be good to each other. Keep making fun art because we love watching it.